Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Spawncast episode 382. It was me. I had some technical difficulties where Windows Update decided to fight back, so we were late because my computer exploded just about, and I had to system restore. It was a whole thing. I got it worked out though. Fortunately, my computer's. I thought I was going to get my laptop or something. I don't know. It was crazy. But it's okay. We're good. We're here. We're live. More people will probably shuffle in as we go along here because I literally just sent up links. So OJ and Evan were waiting in the wings already. So they were here immediately, which go around here. We got OJ holding up the pre-show.
Yeah, good pre-show today. I don't know, man. Are all Philadelphia Eagles fans morons? I think that there might be something there. I'm not sure. I don't mean to disrespect Philadelphia Eagles fans, but goodness gracious.
I mean, what they do if they're morons, it's like them in Baltimore will burn their own city if they win stuff.
Well, apparently if you wear a hat from that place, he's like, yo, you're from San Francisco. And I'm like, dude, I'm just wearing a Niners hat. That doesn't mean I live there and I'm from there.
The Niners don't even play in San Francisco.
I know, seriously.
Even they're not there.
I'm like, why the hell would I live there, dude? It's expensive as hell. I ain't living there. I'm just a fan of the team. Yeah. So if you wear a hat from whatever, like I have a Chicago Bulls hat. I'm from Chicago, so that's what happens. Anyway, good to be here.
John's from Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, right. got Evan here as well. Good to have Evan with us tonight. Done with the LAN party. LAN party's over.
Yeah, it was good though.
How'd that go? Do you guys? How was it a longer LAN party this time?
No, this was a short one. The long one's usually end of the year.
Okay, well, that's fine. That's fine. Usually, well, I don't know. Usually you say it's a short LAN party, but it was like 72 hours or something.
Well, it was 4 days.
Oh,
the long one's a week long, though.
How do you guys determine when to sleep? Like,
whenever you get tired, usually 3, 4 in the morning.
Then everybody just goes to sleep. Then y'all just wake up and get right back at it.
No, yeah.
Oh, well, okay.
That's crazy, man. I wish it would not fly with my wife.
Hey. What was the game? What was the game this LAN party?
I mean, they were all getting back into, or they were starting to get into the First Descendant, just because. I mean, it was it was out. It's a loot game, so it's just min-maxing loot shoot stuff. So it's pretty much what it was.
I mean, the game seems to be taking off right now, so people seem to be into it. I see it at the top of the charts for at least when I see it on Xbox, they have like the top played games. It's up there. So is on PC as well.
All right, it's funny to watch because it's like they're trying to. It's very close to like Warframe and Destiny, and they're like making the same mistakes those companies made along the way that they eventually fixed, but they're like doing it in such a shorter period of time. They're just like, we fucked up. All right, let's fix it real quick, and it's just swinging back and forth. It's crazy.
Okay. Well, I do have an announcement, which actually, OJ, I'm curious. This might work into your current show, which is the pre-show, flipping a bit here. But what we're gonna do is let me see, so next Saturday or the following Saturday?
Following.
One of the 2 Saturdays coming up, we actually have a guest, which will be interesting. So that'll be fun. But then starting October 5th. Yeah. Starting October 5th, what we're going to be doing is I set up a good time for the majority of people on the cast that haven't been able to make it Saturday nights, and we're going to record the show and then post it on Saturdays. So it'll be like a pre-recorded thing. It won't be live, but that'll actually give us the ability to have just like a bunch of people on here, like usually, like it used to be, really, whereas Saturday night became very hectic and difficult to make, I'll say, for a lot of the cast members. And
COVID's over. COVID's over. They want Saturdays back.
I noticed that it was a lot easier then, technically, yes. But, the idea here is to just be able to get more people on the cast, and I think we'll be able to do a pretty tight-knit show that way. And I had the idea of going back to the previous week's show and actually pulling comments, kind of like what we do in Newswave, Evan, where we do comment of the day. Yeah. We'll just pull comments from the section and read them out on the show and stuff. And also I'll have a thread that I post over on the Patreon, and they can actually respond and drop questions there to make it really easy. So we'll have because we'll be able to free up some time, right? Because it'll be a bit more concise. I could have a nice time allotted to just answering feedback from the comments, and then also from the Patreon as well. So that's kind of the plan. I think we're going to go to, what I think I'm going to do is have it go Saturday, 3 p.m. Eastern is when I'll post it. So it'll be like nice afternoon slot, be a couple of hours. And then technically, I think when do you usually start streaming on Saturday, OJ?
We usually start around 4 4:30 p.m.
4:30,
PT, so 7:30 Eastern.
There you go. So I was going to suggest to OJ, you just do the Spawncast after show.
Yeah, after show. When are you going to post it? When are you going to post it?
It's going to be posted on
Eastern.
Saturday. Yeah,
Saturday,
like,
3 p.m. Eastern.
He can just go live, tell everyone what happened. Give him.
No, I won't do that. I'll just set it because like you guys are going to post it like at what, like the normal time, right? Like 9 o'clock.
No, post at 3 p.m. Eastern in the afternoon. So 3 p.m. Eastern, noon your time. So your show would then be afterwards. So it can be like Sean used to hold up the after show. You can technically do the after show then.
I might do it beforehand and just lead right into that. I can
do that too.
I could adjust, or I could do it afterwards. I mean, either one.
Do pre-show, after show. Yeah,
I could do both.
Want to come in and Oh, you could do both. That works.
I could do both. Tell me how everybody did on the after. Well, I'll do the pre-show and the after show. How about that? Sometimes if I feel like it.
So there'll still be a live stream happening with OJ. He'll have that held up over on Player Essence channel. So that'll still be going on. And you never know, it might pop in there randomly or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I might try to get some more. I mean, I've had Jordan on before. I've had, I think, Click a couple times. So I'll try to see if I can get some people to come on the pre-show as well. So yeah, we could do that too.
Yeah. So that way we'll be able to have like a full cast and stuff pretty frequently the whole time. So I basically was talking to everyone and tried to come on with one time or throughout the week that they could do it. And that way it's not held to like 9 p.m. or something. You got to be here for it to happen. Sometimes we can be flexible with it. And as long as it's posted up Saturday, 3 p.m., we're good. And I did have it set later much later in the week, actually. So we'll have the week news and stuff in there too. So that's kind of the idea. So there'll be streams. OJ will kind of manage those, and then we'll have the full podcast. And what's nice is because of that, one, we'll have like the thumbnail, and I'll see if I can get timestamps made up ahead of time, and I'll post it on Spotify at the same time. So it'll basically be like all up, all at once, done. And it'll be
hopefully you guys are okay. Hopefully the fans are okay with that. Because I remember last time we think
the vocal ones won't be.
Yeah.
Well, what I noticed is 85% of the traffic, the views, listens come after the live stream. So it does seem like there is a large number of people who just listen to it afterwards. Okay. So we'll see. I'm hoping, I'm thinking it's going to make a better show overall, because I can do a lot of preparation and even edit the thing a little bit when it comes to gameplay footage or others. So that's kind of the plan. So we'll see how it goes. But that way we keep the show going weekly and have more people on. So it's kind of the plan, but I think it'll be fun.
Yeah.
So it'll be good. But yeah, that's happening. Like I said, not next Saturday, not the following Saturday, the following Saturday. So the first week of October, it'll still be a full show. It'll just be posted, and then OJ will do his streams around it and stuff. So it'll be a whole Saturday block of content either way. So it'll be fun. Pikmin Gut says rest of crew must be busy working second jobs for PS5 Pro. Hey, yeah, as Sony told you, they need to present something that makes you want to go out and work extra hours to buy it. They did it with the PS3. They got you covered with the PS5. They got you covered. So it'll be good. We do have of course, the PS5 Pro stuff to talk about tonight. We'll be covering that because that has been absolute insanity this week. It's been man, Twitter just keeps going.
They're still arguing. Like the PS5 and PC people are still arguing. Like it's been like 4 solid days now of just back and forth. And then of course some of the journalists are making videos, or some YouTube making videos and be like, that's not right. You can't do it with that amount of RAM. And oh my gosh, it's just been crazy. Yeah. I've just been sitting back with popcorn. I'm just sitting back looking like, okay.
That we got an Astro Bot that came out. That was of course the week before, but we were off last week. So I wanted to touch on that. The Concord situation, which that feels like it was 2 lifetimes ago now after the PS5 Pro stuff. But again, we'll see about that one. Annapurna, their interactive wing, basically just walked out, which is insanity. So, and then we have some Q&A. I actually pulled some questions from the post I made last week as well, just seeing what people had to say. And I also had some a Discord question thrown in there too. So a lot of stuff actually to get to tonight. Let me go over. Let's actually start. I wanted to start with Marvel vs. Capcom, but Sean's the one who actually covered that, so we'll check in with him if he pops in. But Evan, what about Space Marine 2 is out? I did play a little bit of it. I actually did some co-op with MVG, surprising. He randomly was like, you want to do co-op with this? Like, I guess. We played like 2 missions for it or something.
What the main missions? I'm guessing the campaign.
Oh
stuff
no, I'm sorry. We
played
missions. Him and I played 2 missions together to test how co-op the other connection was and how it worked that way. And then I played an additional like 2. So I've played some of it, but I will admit I was playing Astro Bot and then I went to another game thinking I'd probably be the only one covering it here. So I figured I would at least try some of that. What do you think of Space Marine 2 so far?
I think it's pretty good. It was well put together. It was a little bit, I guess when they announced it, a little worrying since it wasn't really Relic who made the first one doing it. But these guys, Saber and everyone seemed to pull it off really well. So it runs smoothly, which is great. The co-op's fantastic. Every time I go into any co-op missions, it's just PS players, Xbox players. It's just instant good connections, which doesn't always work in a lot of games.
Oh, you don't play with the console casuals over there?
Yeah, I'm carrying them. It's fine.
Yeah.
But
did you beat the campaign?
Campaign's done. All side missions done. I'm just working through the difficulties, PvP occasionally. It's decent setup. Of course, it's just missing a few things that were really cool about the original game. The Dreadnought mode and all that. It's not in there for PvP. But, I mean, we'll see what happens. They already have, 4 seasons laid out? New enemies, Horde mode supposedly coming, which it's weird that it's coming in, like, Season 4. So who knows how long it's going to be before you get Horde mode. Yeah, this game honestly needs Horde mode like now. It would be fantastic, but
wow,
we'll just see what happens.
Okay.
But yeah,
Nate and I played PvP a little bit. How do you feel about it so far? Because I'll admit we were a little confused playing it.
It's super quick. It's not what I think a lot of people are going to be expecting. It's more tactical about like setting up areas, trying to be able to like get out quickly as somebody covers you, and it's harder, I think, for more people to get into it. Because I feel like I've played Gears PvP and it's not the same pacing. This one, the time to kill is so fast. It's so freaking fast. And you have to kind of know what you're doing. Because like tricks are, I play a heavy in it. So when a jump pack trooper lands on you, 9 times out of 10, you're dead. Or you throw a grenade at their feet and kill them with you. That's what I do.
I played as the sniper class, I think.
Snipers are solid.
Just to try it. And it took like 2 shots to take someone down. I was like, oh, wow, that was fast. Yeah, so we did. I'm trying to think of what Nate was. He picked a class. He had no idea what he was doing. But we seemed to have some fun with PvP. I will say that. It's one that I wanted to go back to after I got through some of these other games that I'm playing right now. But on the Xbox, I played on the Xbox series. They have a quality and they have a performance mode. Performance mode does look kind of blurry. I will say that. But quality cuts it to 30 and it cleans it up nice enough. But the game does look, it has that scale to it. Like I noticed, you know what it reminded me of? When you go out into that first area, maybe I guess it's during like that prologue section when all the dinosaur stuff starts flooding out and down like the creatures, like there's hundreds of them. That reminded me of Exoprimal.
No, yeah. And they talked a lot about how the engine works really well with like tons of stuff on the field. And it seems to do really good things with that. Just chucking a nade into a large group running up at you and watching just bodies go everywhere is fantastic. But I think they got it. They got it right, because the issue with the Warhammer 40K universe is there's so much. There's just so stupid amounts of stuff that you could get into. And it feels like they did keep it really limited so that they don't overwhelm people, but there's still like cool stuff. Like you fight a giant bird thing at some point, which I have the model for it over there, but
it feels like Gears of War, but there is more melee combat. Like there's melee combat in there. You pick up a sword and it's a chainsaw sword. It's like, okay.
You're not at the power sword yet?
Cool.
Superheated by electricity. Just cuts
no,
I
didn't have that. I had like the little dagger one, and then I had like the big blade with the spinning chainsaw on it, which is cool. So there's some really cool set pieces in the game. They definitely try to add a lot of scale to it, where it looks like you are in the middle of a massive battle that's like way bigger than you are. So that is pretty cool with the campaign. It does feel like Gears of War, but also kind of its own thing with some of the stuff it's doing. No, it doesn't have the cover system that Gears of War has. I will say that.
Why would you need it? You're walking around in cover.
That's true. Gears of War, when you go to cover, you like slam into the cover and like the camera hits and shakes and it tries to give you that. Whereas this,
just walk at your enemy.
You are a tank in this. But it's what else do you have left to do? You said difficulties and you're gonna keep playing PvP?
Yeah, I'm just gonna try to go up the difficulties, PvP, see what the new enemies are like when they come out, see what the I think they said some new maps, some new side missions. Because as you go through the campaign, you're gonna get to points where I don't know how far you are in it, but you'll talk to other people and they'll be like, all right, we have to go do this mission. You're like, cool. And then you continue your campaign. The mission they go do, that's the side mission. So you can play as other classes and stuff. So you get to see the other side of the story, which was kind of a really cool way to approach it.
Okay. So it's a recommendation from you.
No, if you're into third person action games, it's pretty fun.
Okay. And you said it ran well on your P. Is that the 3080 machine?
Yeah, this one I'm doing it on the 3070 actually. I haven't tested the 3080 yet. It runs perfectly fine.
Wow. Okay. Good stuff. Sean, how we doing over there?
I'm good. Busy but good.
Where are you?
Are you at a drive-thru right now? I'll take a number 9 large.
No, is it not coming through my mic?
It's coming through a mic.
Got that like Xbox 360 early, you know. Like,
it doesn't sound like the Xbox.
Your mom's about to come in the background and start yelling at you for being
2 days of
free.
Night. Like when you buy a game, you got like 2 days of Xbox Live Gold. Like you got like that type of.
Hold on, let me switch.
With the little ball on the end of it.
This is indeed a Wendy's.
Sir, this is a Wendy's. Oh, stuff's happening.
All you needed to hear is like some rap music in the back and like Call of Duty being played. Like that's all that's left. Is like
occasional sounds of bong hits, just the water.
Yeah.
We're hearing it now.
Yeah, that's pretty much Xbox 360 days right there.
Every time I go into crossplay in Space Marine, first noises I hear, know who to mute.
It's like nostalgia overflow.
Like when I was playing Madden, like Madden 2005, like oh my gosh, the people.
I was going to ask you how Marvel vs. Capcom is going for you, Sean.
Well, there we go.
Well, there we are. That's it. There it is.
It's good.
Come back to Sean. Modern Warfare 2 all over again.
This guy runs a channel with over 500,000 subs, guys, by the way. he actually runs a professional YouTube channel, by the way.
Are you in the Chromebook? Is that what's happening?
I wouldn't be surprised if he's on his like
laying on his
right
couch
now.
With the Chromebook on his like stomach.
We have him in chat. We can tell everyone in chat what he's saying. He said yes. So Sean said yes.
It might be missing the Chrome. It's just a book. It might be missing something there. Might be missing something, bro.
Coming at you from the Kindle Fire.
Wait a minute.
Kind of hear.
I heard him.
Hello.
There you are.
Oh, there you go.
I hear him.
Yeah, you got
which
the
mic
Kindle
was he
Fire?
using? Like, what was he using?
I was using my other headset.
Oh, this is a different headset.
Yeah. Well, this one, I guess a dog came in here and chewed it because it's all like, yeah, I don't know, because it's all fucking frayed and stuff.
A dog? Like it's like my dog ate my homework. That excuse, like
by yourself, and you don't have a dog.
I know. Door open, just dogs walking.
That's why I don't.
Hey guys, this dog kind of look like Clifford, maybe the big red one. I'm not sure, but somebody came in here and chewed up my mic. I have no idea though.
Well, and like I can't touch it right now, so I only have audio in my right headphone. So that's pretty fun too. Because I don't want to mess it up. It's like now it's fucking working.
Oh man, it's time for a new headphone, Sean.
Yeah.
Maybe,
or maybe not letting dogs into your house just randomly.
How's Marvel vs. Capcom treating you?
It's good. It's fun. I think it's a good collection. Everyone should buy it.
Are you just playing 2 the most?
No, because I mean I have fond memories of like X-Men Children of the Atom. Because I stepped on a rusty nail at my house and I had to go get a tetanus shot. And my mom felt bad for me. She took me to the mall and I played Marvel vs. Capcom at the arcade in the mall at the Aladdin's Castle. But like I kind of went too hard and like you're not supposed to like move your arm a lot after you get a tetanus shot. And I didn't know that. So like that shit hurt for like 4 or 5 days afterwards because of it. But I mean, it was worth it. And I remember renting a Saturn from fucking the video store next to Kroger and renting that one game. So I enjoy that game. And I like, Marvel vs. Street Fighter. I think that's a super fun game. I mean, there's little differences here and there. But yeah, like as far as like online stuff, yeah, I've just been playing Marvel vs. Capcom 2 mostly.
Controls are good.
Yeah. I mean, I'm using the Nixie controller thing. Because because that has like a better D-pad on it than the Switch does. But yeah, I mean, everything I was actually very surprised with just how well online like feels and works. Like it's very smooth.
Rollback.
I've heard hit and miss stuff with online, but that's good.
Well, I mean, it is. There's no crossplay, so I'm just playing with other Switch people. But I even did, yes, because I'm fucking beating their brains in.
Absolutely.
I did do cross-regional matchmaking, and it was still fine.
Yeah, with that rollback netcode, I mean, even if there is a mistake or something, it's still going to play out smoothly. You just might, something might not come out the exact way you want it to. But yeah, the rollback netcode is really good in the game, so that's awesome. I'm glad that it turned out good, and we got another collection coming next year too. So
yeah, awesome. That's the one I'm personally. I mean, I know people have MVC2 like obviously high on the list, but just seeing like Power Stone in there was weird.
Although the one thing is, it seems like PC seems to be a little bit of an issue. People are having trouble with matchmaking. I don't know, because like there's no crossplay, right? And I don't know how many people bought it. Like I saw something like with Justin Wong, and like apparently Justin Wong's beating the crap out of people, so people are just like quitting. So it's like, so there's some story, so people are just quitting because Justin Wong is just destroying people. And I guess Max is destroying people too.
When you want to play against those people over and over again, though, if you can, so you can try to learn and get better
the thing about it is that there's not that many people on PC right now. There's only like 2,000 people playing, and then with no crossplay,
2,225 right now.
Yes, and then with no crossplay, and then what games are they playing? Right, some people might be playing so you might not be playing a lot of variety of people because there's a bunch of games on there, and they all
there's only there's only 6 that you can play online, and you choose which games you want to be in the rotation. So like if you only want to play one specific game, but I mean that's going to be kind of the downfall of it is with no cross-platform play, like you are limited, and if everyone decides to play one game, which I'm going to assume is probably all MVC2,
yeah, probably,
then yeah, that's not fun. Like the people that are playing this collection are not the people who are trying to like become like world leaders in it or something, they're just trying to have fun and going up against some fucking fighting tournament guys and stuff like that. Like, that's not fun for the average person.
It is actually kind of wild. It started at 6,000 and then within a short period of time it's just down to 2K average.
So I mean, not having crossplay was that's a bummer, man.
No, that's usually a death sentence for a fighting game.
That's not a good thing because it's an old school fighting game too, like so. Yeah,
it's surprising they didn't think to try to get that working.
Guess they couldn't get it working, man. I don't know. MVG says it's really tough to do do like that, but I mean, it can be done. Yeah, but I mean, it like cross save, cross platform, that stuff is like a nightmare. Like you can test it, shit just cannot work. Like you can try it and just won't work, or we got to rehaul everything. Nope, we got a release date. At least that's what like an MVG. Like when I asked MVG about it, that's what he said. So, I mean, that sucks, but yeah, it is what it is, man.
I did. Okay, so we had Space Marine 2, Marvel vs. Capcom. I did play Lollipop Chainsaw Repop.
I heard it was a mess. Is that true?
Yeah, it came out a couple days ago, and I was like, you know what? I'll pick this up. I actually have it on the 360. I was looking around. I was like, I do have this game. Came out what feels like forever ago, which technically is like more than a decade ago now. Yeah. Like right at the end of the 360's life, 360 PS3, and I remember actually playing it back then too. But dude, this is a rough port. The Repop version's like worse than the original one. It's very weird. So I didn't play it on the Switch. I played it on the PlayStation 5, but I heard on the Switch it's like almost broken bad. Like it's very close. And even on the PS5, there's frame rate issues. Sometimes just sound effects are missing. And there's like this weird something's going on with the inputs where it feels like it's always a step behind what you're doing. So with the heavy attacks, it's supposed to be pretty slow because you're swinging a massive chainsaw around. So they have that as a powerful attack, but it's extremely slow. Whereas you have like fast attacks that basically have the zombies get kind of knocked out a bit, and then you can slice them up with the chainsaw. But the chainsaw, whenever you press it, it feels like I press it and then it starts doing something. Like I've already left the button completely before I see movement on the screen. So they said they're going to try to patch this thing, and it's like I've had the game crash on me a couple of times. it seems like it just wasn't ready to release. And it's a short game. If you haven't played Lollipop Chainsaw, it's like 5 or 6 hours, maybe at best. Like I think I'm halfway through the game and I've played 2 hours. So it's pretty quick. And it's what I remember from back in the day. The Repop version. So when you start it up, you pick Repop or original. Original is as it sounds. It's just the original, just kind of upscaled and stuff. But Repop, they changed some of the power-ups, I believe, at the shop, and they made the game look different. It's like very saturated and very bright looking. I don't know. It's kind of strange. So not a great port, unfortunately, because that game is not backwards compatible at all. Like the only way to play it is if you have a 360 or a PS3, I believe, or emulated, of course. But it's not something that's easily attainable, is what I'm saying. Which is probably why it's still kind of expensive on eBay, I think. So I can't recommend it. It's like $45 or something. I can't recommend that one.
The producer of the game was like, yeah, we're working on fixing this and this and this and this and this. I mean, I think it was probably through a translator or whatever he was saying, but yeah, I don't know. It seems bizarre. Seems like it has spaghetti code or something. Not really sure why it came out the way that it came out.
Yeah, so I would wait to see some patches, and I have a feeling this is a game you're going to see pop up on like the Switch sale or something. It'll be like 80% off in a few months. I think it'll be quick, or like on PlayStation Network. By next year, you'll probably see this thing get that nice 70% cut or something. So I think it'll get pretty cheap pretty quick. And I saw the physical copies, they were selling through them, which is fine because it's limited run, I believe, and they typically sell through those. So not a recommend yet, but maybe hold out for it if you were interested. See if they can fix it some. And then I have Astro Bot highlighted. That's one of the big ones that came out because it is now the highest rated game of the year. Of course, we were off last week when it basically had come out, but I've had some time to go through it, and I think myself, OJ, and Sean have all beaten the game.
Yeah, I've
gone through it completely.
I 100%ed it.
Yeah, I beat it.
Yeah.
Okay. I got the platinum trophy, the whole deal. It's all done, and all my kids are playing through it. So we're gonna have beaten it twice.
I didn't get the platinum. I didn't get the platinum trophy. I just 100%ed it. Like the stuff in the game, but I didn't get the platinum trophy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a few things in there for the platinum trophy where basically you go around like your main hub base area and you just do different things with the bots, and it'll just get trophies.
Yeah, I got some of those randomly. There's like one I didn't collect the golden eggs in the Uncharted level. There's some of like that stuff that I missed. I got like 80 something. I think I got like 70 or 80% of the trophy. 70s, high 70s or 80%. But I'm like, I'm good. I already got everything that I can do in the game. Like, so I don't really care about the platinum trophy. I just wanted to do everything in the game just so I can see the whole game, so we can talk about it, of course. And everything.
Yep. But it is done. Again, 94 right now on Metacritic, immediately the highest rated game of the year. And I think for a lot of people, it's obviously it's in the game of the year conversation, but it seems to be a front runner for a lot of people now, especially online when you see people talk about it. So what did we think of it so far after going through it? I think it took for me to platinum the thing, it was like 14 or 15 hours. So it's not even like a long game to do everything in it. Which actually, how do we feel about that first? Because it's a $60 game. How do we feel about games like this that are, we'll just say 10 hours long. We'll just round to that 10 hours long for a basic playthrough of the game.
The game is that short because it's easy. Like if the game was harder, it wouldn't. It would have lasted longer. So that's the reason why it's that short. It's got a good amount of like levels and stuff, but you can like blast through the levels so fast, right? So that's the reason why it's short. It's not like it's easy to kind of get everything. Like they have probably, I counted on one hand about maybe 3 levels that I might have had a little bit of difficulty with, like some of like the triangle, square, whatever, those special levels. And then there's
cross.
Yeah, cross.
Yep.
And then there's one, I'm not going to spoil it, but then there's like one other thing that you can do. That one's tough. That one's legitimately like, okay, yeah, that was tough. But I mean, you just remember, like it's a pattern and it's short. All the levels are short. So it's not even like a test of endurance because like you can just like blow through a lot of them. And once you know the pattern, it's not too bad. Like, but no, outside of that, man, like I think that the game is really fun. Like I find it to be fun. Astro Bot is a cool character. There's no voice acting. It's just all like little voices. It's got all sorts of cool ties back to the old school games like Legend of Dragoon and all sorts of stuff, right? It's got Gravity Rush. It's got like all these little bots that you can collect. It's got cool power-ups. And yeah, it's fun, man. I just find it to be a really cool, fun game.
Sean, you mentioned that you were giving this thing a pretty high score.
Yeah,
like in your mind when you seem to really like this game.
I did. I didn't platinum it or anything like that. I don't know. I might go back and get some of the bots that I've missed and stuff. But no, I like the level design. I think it looks really good, sounds really good, it plays really good. Everything about it feels good. I do wish the final boss battle was a little bit, I don't know, more challenging, I guess. Like, because I felt like there were some boss battles in the game that were like a little bit more of a challenge than the final one was. But even like the credit scene was interesting, like how you what you do during the credit scene. So
don't spoil it because it's fun.
But yeah, like I think and as far as your comment about $60 for 10 hours, I'd rather play a 10-hour game that doesn't waste my time than a 40-hour game that could have been a 20-hour game because of padding and stuff like that. So yeah, I have no problem with that as being a $60. I mean, because that's not even a standard price anymore. Standard price is a $70 game. So if anything, it's a discount title for PlayStation and Xbox and maybe Switch too. Who knows?
Well, the thing with that, because I've heard this before, and I think someone actually brought that up as a question about Astro Bot even going to another platform. It's so tied to that DualSense controller. Like this is still, I think, the best use, and it's funny because it was technically that way with Playroom. Once again, Astro Bot showing off the DualSense, definitely the best use case of it. I mean, it is constantly doing something and trying to keep you kind of immersed in whatever's happening on screen with all the different sounds that it makes. Of course, I know there's the whole thing where they want you to like blow air into the controller, but what I noticed is when you go up to whatever it wants you to do, I never had to do anything like that. Once I went up to it, it did it automatically. So I don't know if there's like a setting that I turned off or on or something.
Turn off if you turn off the motion, it makes, in my opinion, it makes the game better. The motion in this game is stupid. Like,
I turned it off.
To climb, like just to climb, like with the monkey thing or with the whatever, you have to go like this. Like,
that's just the playroom. The playroom too. You like this?
It's ridiculous. So just turn. I mean, you don't get to control, I guess, like the ship flying in, and that's not as fun as using the control stick. But
just use the analog stick. That's fine.
Yeah, you can just use the analog stick. Yeah, for me, I had to turn that off because it was ridiculous. But Sean, you gotta get all the bots, because if you want a bit more of a challenge, you got to get all the bots so you can do something. So go back, and for anybody that's playing, don't. I mean, because the game's easy. Like, the game's easy. It's not a hard game. Sean's right about like the challenge. Like, there's one boss battle that I think I died a couple times on that. Like, and Sean, was it the battle with the treetop thingy that was going on there? Is that the one that you're talking about?
No, I didn't have a problem with that.
Okay, I died twice on that one, so I was like, what the heck? Why am I dying on that one? But anyway, so yeah, like, you got to get all the bots, like, to truly, experience everything. You got to get all the bots. So definitely, I suggest getting all those stupid little bots and you got to get all the bots and all the puzzle pieces. So you got to get both of them. You got to get bots and puzzle pieces. So.
Yeah, solid collectathon.
Yeah, I don't think I'm doing that. I got my $60 worth out of the game.
No, man, you got to play that last. You got to play that last level, though, Sean. You got to play that last level, dude. So it's interesting.
It's not high on my priority list.
Okay.
You felt pretty content though with what you played, Sean. That's what you're saying.
Yes. I mean,
you gave it more than a 9 last I heard.
9.25.
Wow, that's pretty good.
It's good.
I mean, especially compared to the slop that we've gotten this year. I mean, yeah. Disappointments, crap. Like, what?
And you know what's great about Astro Bot? Didn't really hear about anything that was wrong with it. Like, new games come out and there's always something, like, it's crashing.
Scandal.
There's some kind of issue, right? Yeah, it just comes out and it's like, oh, it's just a fun game.
Yeah.
All right. It's just a high quality 3D platformer.
And the thing of it is, Sony likes their super dark narrative driven games. Those are cool. But you got to have something to balance it out. So that's why I want this game to do well, because it shows you that not everything needs a fucking 10-year development cycle. Not everything needs to be some dark, brooding narrative and fucking, the style that Sony's kind of adopted in the past decade or so. Like, you could just have a fun, low budget quick turnaround game, and people will like it.
I don't think this game's low budget or quick turnaround, but
well, it was
3 years compared to like 10.
Yeah, 60 people, 3 years in Japan compared to what Sony's turned out like. For
yeah, I mean, I just think overall it's not like it's a small indie game. Like it's a 3 years
yeah, no, it's not
should be what the development time for games that should be more normal. We should normalize 3 years, 4 years, 60, 70 people. You can make a super high quality game with that. Like you don't need
that's what I'm saying.
5,000 people. So to me, that should just be normal. Like, okay, you spend however many million it takes to do that, right? The 3 years, and you got 67 people. That's perfect. So there should definitely be more of that for sure. Like we're getting so, like Sean was saying, man, like we don't need, every live service, $100 billion games, man. Like this is good. This is a
Sony
good
does
thing.
Sony likes their accolades too. So it got the Metacritic score. I'm sure that Sony was really happy to see. If this thing actually wins a game of the year, and if it's with Keighley, I feel like that's something Sony will recognize a bit more, even to be like, oh wow, we can get some quality out of 3 to 4 year development cycles. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's something. That's the one thing I really hope comes out of this is a reevaluation of some of their development cycles.
Yeah, because they got rid of the studio that did that. That was Sony Japan. They would make stuff like Gravity Rush. They would make Folklore. They would make these type of games, and none of those games ever got the accolades that Astro Bot has got. None of them has ever been that. And Sony really cares about review scores. Like
they do.
They really. Yeah. I mean, look at Days Gone. Right? Days Gone was actually selling. Well, screw it. No, look at this score. They're like, nope, this score is not. We're not doing it with this score, right? And yeah, it did sell more when it went on discount, but still, like the game actually sold really well. I think it's over 9 million units now. So, I mean,
interestingly, we got some information about Days Gone 2. Apparently, the pitch for that died in Ben's studio. Didn't even get to Sony. So apparently there's some new information that came out recently about that. It seems like maybe some internal strife or something about the direction for Bend.
Internal issues. Jaffe did an interview with the guy, the main dude, and like it just sounded like there was all sorts of stuff that was happening, within that studio. And
I mean, it seemed like Sony wasn't happy with the initial launch of that game because of all the bugs and the madness that happened there. But
the money that they spent, so it was delayed multiple times, big team, really expensive, and then bad review score was like the nail in the coffin for them. Or like, even though it ended up being pretty good sales success overall at the end of the day,
But Astro Bot looks good. People need to buy the game. I feel like it's high quality. It's a good title to pick up. So here's hoping, because we haven't had great initial reports for it, but
to be fair though, that Chris Dring guy, like no disrespect, but that motherfucker's changed his story like 5 times. Like, oh, it's doing terrible. Wait, it's not too bad. Oh wait, it's doing better than this. It's better than Sonic, but I
thought he flip-flopped. People told me that I read what he said wrong, but I'm looking at what he said, and he said a third of what Ratchet and Clank did, but then right after that, he says 21% higher. So then somebody said, "No, you misread what he said." I'm like,
that's with us. So he initially reported physical sales, then he came back at the end of the week and reported with digital, which then put it above Ratchet and Clank. And now he's come back again to try to give more context for some reason with it. What I would suggest to people is wait for the Circana sales report happening next month, because that'll give us an indication of what Sony's big focus is now, which is really the US market or Western market. See how Astro Bot did there, and then we can kind of evaluate.
It flopped in Japan. There's no getting around that. It was a flop in Japan. It was only 12,000 units. So that's not good. I mean, Gravity Rush did 77K. On the PS4 back in like 2017. So
yeah, I'm thinking we see what happens with Circana next month.
We gotta wait till the US. I mean, that's where I thought it would have done better. I personally thought it would have done a little bit better, maybe like 50K in Japan or something like that, like 50, 60.
Apparently they didn't ship much. Like there were no pre-orders for it really, and I think Game Library they posted on Twitter about it. They're like, a lot of the stuff sold out, they just didn't ship any copies. So I thought, okay, well, we'll see in the report next week or the following week when restocks happen if maybe it doesn't drop off as significantly.
maybe people buy. I mean, we can look at maybe digital stage ratios in Japan aren't as good. So I'm just I think the US will really kind of carry the Western market will kind of just carry the game. I mean, if it flops in Japan, then it flops in Japan. But you also have the price increase though too, in Japan.
If it's top 3 in Circana next month, because Space Marine 2, I think will actually do pretty well. But if it's top 3 at the $6 price point, I think that'll actually be pretty good for him. I'd be pretty content with that. So
Astro Bot doesn't need to sell 10 million. It doesn't need to be like Spider-Man, or anything. So
no, we figured if it got around Ratchet and Clank numbers, that'd actually be a win for Asobi. I think they'd be happy.
I think it even a little bit lower. I think Ratchet and Clank's like what, 4 million for that game. I think
if this thing gets 3 million, I think they'll be thrilled. They'll be like, oh great,
3 million profited. That would be perfect for this type of game. 2 to 3 million would be perfect. I think they would be happy with that, and yeah, they can put that into actually making even more of a game next time.
Yep. Good stuff. We'll see how that goes next month, or who knows? Maybe Sony makes an announcement before then. But we'll wait and see. Which actually, you know what? I did want to bring this up, as Astro Bot is currently the highest rated game, and people are starting to put together the very, very early preliminary game of the year lists or contenders. Is there a game coming up that you feel like might show up in? I don't want to say dethrone.
Sean knows my game. Say it, Sean.
Yeah.
Game of the millennium.
Dethrone Astro Bot, but all of a sudden breaks through into the 90s. Is so hard to break into. If there's a game you think that might do it,
fucking Metaphor. What are you talking? It's game of the millennium, John.
Metaphor Refantasy. I'm telling you, the previews are incredible. Everybody that went to play the game, GameSpot, everybody the journalists that are playing the game, they all say that they didn't want to stop playing. So right now, that's the game to me that I feel could definitely be like a 90 plus. I mean, it's from the people that made Persona 3, 4, and 5. Persona 5 Royal, one of the highest rated games of all time, right? It's 95 or 96 or something. So yeah, Persona 4, Golden, fantastic game. Really highly rated. Persona 3, not as much, but Persona 4 and Persona 5 are. So this is a brand new game. They got a bunch of cool stuff in there, like from the previews. They've been spoiling the game for the whole year. They've just been spoiling it. So,
a lot.
Yeah, they've just been spoiling the game for everyone. But I'm guessing the game's going to be crazy with the amount of content because they feel comfortable showing this amount. Usually they're pretty strict on, usually they don't show this much. Like with Persona 5, they did not do this leading up to Persona 5. They did not do this even with their other games. Like with SMT5, they did that a little bit with SMT5, but nowhere near as much. Like they're showing 20 minutes of all sorts of stuff, showcases. So I think they're pretty confident the game is going to be really good. So yeah, I'm thinking Metaphor for me. I think Echoes of Wisdom has an opportunity as well to potentially be pretty highly rated, high 80s or something like that. So, but those are the two games. We'll see about Dragon Age. We'll see about Assassin's Creed. But for me, Echoes of Wisdom and Metaphor.
Indiana Jones.
It's too late. Indiana Jones is coming out too late.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I thought there was a game you were going to say, Sean, that's coming up in October. I was kind of picturing you mentioning Bloober's game.
Silent Hill?
Yeah, I kind of thought you might look at that and go, there's an outside chance, like a high 80s that sneaks in.
I don't do drugs, John. So no, I would not. I would not say
anymore.
Yeah, no anymore. I haven't in a while. I should say.
In a good amount of time.
Yes,
at least a month. No,
decade. No, that game's not. No, stop it. That the game's not going to be game of the year. I'll be pleasantly surprised if it's good.
Okay.
Great, good.
Okay, good.
And where the fuck is my Metal Gear Solid 3?
Oh, they got to put that in the state of play in a week and a half.
You think it's State of Play or Tokyo Game Show?
I thought Tokyo Game Show but State of Play will be before Tokyo Game Show, so they would show it there and then expand on it at Tokyo Game Show. They'll probably rent out a 60-second spot in State of Play to put the fact that it's been delayed, go figure, until 2025.
Oh no.
Now, I know, shocking, right? It's not coming out this year. It's only September. I think that's a good candidate for the first quarter of next year. It's February slot or March, somewhere in there.
I don't know.
I think it's plausible that the game that could actually surprise some people is actually Dragon Age. I think BioWare could actually make a return, and people keep talking about this game, and more of it is coming up, and I think I think it might catch some people off guard. based on what people are saying.
That's what I saw today. The hair.
Not physics. even the hair. I know hair physics, but there are people who are apparently previewing this game, and they are like
really liking it. So yeah, that's. I said, apparently, hey, look, it's a possibility. Dragon Age is back, and it gets. I mean, it was. Dragon Age has won Game of the Year before. Inquisition. Yeah, it won the first one, the first Keeley Award one, 2014, if I'm not correct.
Yep.
So I mean, it's a previous Game of the Year winner. So absolutely.
I think there are a lot of people who wrote it off already, and I think they're going to get hit with the Geno Smith. So
it's Sean's fault for people writing it off.
Why?
Because you were clowning the freaking box art. You know?
Oh, the box art's shit. I mean,
yeah, and you were making it seem like the game's going to be trash because the box art was trash. So that's I'm blaming you for people writing it off.
I didn't say that.
I don't think the box art's very good. So
box art is shit.
Yeah, and so you were making it seem as if the game was going to be shit.
I never said that.
I know you never said it, but that was the impression that you were getting. You know how people are impressionable online? Yeah, that's what happened.
Think for yourself. Question authority.
There was a small chance I knew you might say something like that. 5% chance, and I'm so glad you did it.
And we'll see how it gets rated. I just people in the chat, I wouldn't write off Dragon Age just yet. So
don't write it off.
We'll see.
Write it off
no one said Assassin's Creed, so there you go.
I mean, really, all that matters.
Evan's running it off.
It just matters what Newsweek thinks. I mean, let's be real.
There it is. What does Newsweek think?
LA Times. That's where I go for my video game news.
Shout out to LAX.
Yeah, no mention of Assassin's Creed Shadows. Huh.
Assassin's Creed never really gets nominated for anything. Or
about how it was like a solid 84. It's like
I think Odyssey. I think that was the last time. I think Odyssey got nominated, right? I think back when that game came out. But yeah, I mean, yeah, Shadows has a chance too. That's why I said it has a chance for sure.
I don't know. Ubisoft right now, I think.
They kind of spiraling.
Yeah, but it's got, like I said, it's got a shot. You got to just wait and see what the scores are. Really, it's about what these people think it's about this or it's about that. It's really about what the journalists.
It's about what Newsweek and the LA Times think.
It's about what the journalists think. So I follow a lot of these guys. That's why I can sometimes
I'm blocked by a lot of these guys.
Yeah, you're blocked by them. You are. But I'm not blocked by them. So I see what they hype up. So when people are saying, oh, Tears of the Kingdom could win Game of the Year, I was like, no, it's going to be Baldur's Gate. Because they're all saying that they're going to vote for Baldur's Gate. They're all talking about it's going to be Baldur's Gate. So I already knew it's going to be Baldur's Gate because they were all literally saying it's Baldur's Gate. It's Baldur's Gate. So it was a sweep, right? So like right now, they're all saying it's Astro Bot. It's Astro Bot. So right now, Astro Bot's going to win unless something else comes out, you know. But they're all saying Astro Bot. So
Astro Bot is kind of the front runner right now, based on what you see online. So we'll see. Things change pretty quickly. You never know.
Things can change. But I think Astro Bot right now. But yeah, we got to see about Dragon Age and Assassin's Creed and some of the other stuff. I don't think Metaphor is going to win, by the way, either. I just think that'll be nominated. I just want to put that out there.
It's a fun meme.
Yeah.
PS5 Pro. It has been revealed. That was on Monday. It took about 9 minutes to show this thing off, and they spent about 5 seconds telling us the price. That was a quick. Here it is. Thank you. Goodbye.
Quick screen at the end there.
They did at least show off what the idea of the PS5 Pro is, which is unsurprisingly, it's going to make your visuals better while trying to keep that frame rate at 60 for performance mode. So if you are someone who has not been happy with what performance mode looks like, here you go. It just costs $700. Which,
did you see? I think it was Kofi watched Digital Foundry's video today on it. And they did some long-winded video. He just took a bunch of notes about it. And there was one game. Fuck, what was the game? It said that even with the PS5 Pro, it still runs at
it's still 30 or something.
Well, that is a whole kind of different thing. But there was one game that ran at like 860p, and that was like considered enhanced. Let me see if I can find his tweet real quick.
860p.
I'm trying to think of a game that was Dragon's Dogma 2 is pretty rough on systems. I'm trying to think of what game that would be. Black Myth Wukong. That's pretty bad on the PS5 currently.
I thought there was like a first party where they were like, we can't get it above 30. You're gonna get better visuals, but
like Sony first party game.
I thought there's been so many games that have been
Hogwarts Legacy. People are saying in the chat right now, Sean.
Wait, doesn't Hogwarts have a 60 frames per second mode?
They said Hogwarts Legacy ran at 30 on the PS5 Pro.
Yeah, but that's not that. I mean that is a thing. Let me pull up Kofi's.
Black Dragon says it's J-Main, Sean.
Oh, it's J-Main? Oh.
Yeah.
It's fucking Nets fan.
Sean, do we all look the same? Is that what's going on?
Shut up! I knew that was coming.
Answer that man. Answer him.
Bro, come on, man.
I saw OJ lining that one up.
Oh, it was Alan Wake. Alan Wake, 864p at 60 frames per second, or 1260p at 30 frames per second.
Interesting.
No 4K res. Okay, so this is from Jermaine. I'm not on my phone. Put his Twitter here. I'll link his Twitter. One of you put his Twitter.
I can get it.
So people can.
I can't do it. You said one of you. It's not going to be me.
I got it.
All right. So he did a whole write up on this from the PS5 breakdown. I think it's just kind of, well, I don't know. It's probably where we shouldn't start, but I just found this to be interesting. Last of Us Part 2, 1440p internal at 60 frames. Same as PS5 performance mode, but with improved image quality. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, 1440p to 1800p internal resolution, roughly the quality mode at 40 frames, at 60 frames in PS5 Pro mode. So, that's good. But then you have stuff like Horizon Forbidden West, didn't look 4K. They presume it's not using PSSR. It's hard to tell. Maybe 4K checkerboard. It's a little higher detail. Hogwarts Legacy. We already talked about that. You can get a quarter.
There it is, there, Sean.
What, you got it up on the screen?
Go ahead. Yeah, I got the screen. Go ahead.
So then, like, Gran Turismo 7. Okay. Assassin's Creed Shadows, 864p at 60 frames. Like, what are we doing here, man? What are we doing for $700 digital?
Wait, so so what's the resolution if you're just playing on the base PS5 for Assassin's Creed Shadows? Like, is there
280p?
Well, it's probably 30. I'm going to assume that it's 30 frames per second.
I thought so. The PS5 Pro actually enables 60 frames for some of these games. It doesn't have it beforehand.
Is it a brute force, John? I'm not sure that I'm not a technical person.
I thought basically the PS5 Pro, what they're saying is that, yeah, you're going to get the games that do 60 frames per second. They're going to do 60 frames per second. But now you can basically play the like the quality modes, the stuff that usually be 30 frames, like the quality mode. Now you can get that quality mode in 60 frames. That's what it sounded like Mark Cerny was saying.
Yeah, this is from Digital. Okay, this is from Digital Foundry. I'll have to check this out.
This is Digital Foundry. This is what they said, and Jermaine summarized it all because I guess it was a long video or something like that.
Yeah, Direct Weekly number 180. Last was Part 2, 1440p internal resolution at 60 FPS. Same as PS5 performance mode, yeah, with improved image quality due to the upscaling technique.
Like, I don't know. I think this is a lot more niche than the PS4 Pro was.
Okay, yeah, Dragon's Dogma 2. That game doesn't run at 60. So now, so it actually now runs at, appears to run at 60. It looks to be running at 60. So it can bump up the frame rates for some.
For some games, that's what I'm saying. For some games, it's a case by case basis.
Yeah,
what it really boils down to.
Mm-hmm.
So it's almost like, well, does the game I really want to play, support this? And if it doesn't seem like a big enough upgrade, do you decide to get it? I almost feel like, you alluded to it, John, that there's state of play on the horizon. Mm-hmm. Why not combine these two? Because that presentation, I mean, you look at the presentation, it's got 67,000 upvotes, almost 300,000 downvotes. And a lot of PlayStation fans don't seem to be thrilled about this. But I feel like if you did a state of play alongside of this, you start out like you did with the fucking Indie World and Direct Partner Showcase. You start out with the 9-minute PS5 Pro thing, and then you move into the showcase and you show games that are going to be doing it, because that presentation didn't exactly wow people. Like, oh, look, the background of Ratchet and Clank is clearer now. Okay.
No.
All right. I don't think that's worth $700, but sure. Like, I don't know, man. It's not for me. I'm not picking one up.
I see what you're saying. For me, like, I think it'd actually be worth it. You know, I was in the market for a new PS5 after I Cobra Kai'd mine, right? But the big thing that I don't like, which to me is just super scummy, is that the disc drive situation. It's like you're being punished and they're tacking on $100 to simply have the ability to play physical games. I got a big physical game library, and I think for a premium system, it should come with the disc drive. Like it shouldn't be a separate attachment. And if you're looking at Europe, you're looking at Australia, you're looking at some of these other, it's like legitimately $1,000. If you look at Japan, it's legitimately with the disc drive $1,000 almost, right? With taxes and all that. It's $841. It's not even like it's an equivalent, like, oh, $699 and it's $699 for them. It's like above what it is for us. So it's even worse in other countries.
Yeah.
And I think that's just, once again, I get it. The technology's good. Like it's good tech inside there, but the nickel and diming and the push, they're being too aggressive and greedy when it comes to trying to get us to be on PSN. So we can't play physical games. Like tacking on, it doesn't cost $100 for a disc drive. That markup is insane. I get it. They're trying to make money, but we already have a big library. This is mid-gen. When you're buying a premium system, you should get the best of that system. Why is the disc drive the one that's with it now? Like, oh, wow, that's actually kind of better than the PS5 Pro if you want to play physical games. Otherwise, you got to buy an add-on disc drive. So that disc drive doesn't cost $100. Like the difference between a digital PS5 and a disc-based PS5. And it doesn't cost $80. The difference that they're charging here in some countries, it's $100. Like Canada, it's like $100 or something. You know, so that's the biggest issue. If they would have included the disc drive and for some people to stand, just the disc drive and stand, it wouldn't have been as bad. But it looks scummy when it's like, okay, it's $200 more. Oh, but on top of that, you don't even get a disc drive and you don't get a stand. And most people have at least one or two physical games, at least. I mean, some people are all digital, but people got PS4 games if you want to play backwards compatibility, right? People got disc-based PS4 games, so it's not like it's all 100% digital, like it's Steam or something like that. So that's my big, like, I can't, like, my anger point with this. Not necessarily the 700, but that they're tacking on like nickel and diming, like for just to play a physical game. That's not an optional feature. Like a disc drive is not an optional feature for a console. Like, no, that's not an optional. An optional feature is like, I don't know, like the amount of memory that you have or something, like, oh, maybe you want 1 terabyte or 2 terabyte, or that's like an optional feature, but not a disc drive. Like are going to make us pay for like sound chips and stuff next? Like, no. That's the thing that I don't like. Outside of that, it's cool, but that's the problem.
Yeah, because it's sunk cost fallacy. I mean, you're already nerd flexing by buying the Pro, which only really enhances things a little bit. So it's mostly just to tell your friends you're cool. So that's what there's going to be, and that's what's going to happen.
If I had friends to tell that I'm cool, then
and that's why you're immune to it. Yeah, completely friendless.
Hexer did have a question that they left with our Q&A, actually, or this is actually the Discord that's related to this, asking if anyone understand the PS5 Pro stand situation and explain if you actually need the stand or not, as it might not need a stand to stand up. They say they have a slim and don't have a stand on it. It can stand up vertical. People seem very confused on that part of the PS5 Pro. I also see nothing wrong about putting the console horizontally. So Sean does not use the stand, even though he has the stand. Nope. He's never used it seemingly, and his PS5 stands vertically on the floor.
I feel like this is vintage PlayStation though, because PS2 had that stand that you did not need. So.
I feel like that stand was like $20 too back. Well, that was $20 then, which I mean, I know people run inflation all the time, but technically it's like the same price then. But I feel like if you really were careful with it, you'd be okay. Although I don't know, PS5 Pro might be, I don't know, maybe top heavy more so than the current one. I'm not sure. But Sean put it on his floor. And the reason I emphasize that is because it's a spot where it might get kicked over by accident. And well, he never yelled about it. So I assume it didn't happen.
Jump up and down during a really bad WWE match, knock it over.
I mean,
I don't live in a
OJ's
shack.
Like I have kicks and stuff.
So. I kicked mine on accident, and I could have swore that my foot was not close to it, and I definitely kicked it. So yeah, it can happen. It was an accident, though. I didn't do it on purpose, obviously.
I feel like this is that moment where I look at it and go, if I wasn't going to do a teardown and coverage on it, I probably would just pass on it. Like if I'm just playing it as more of a casual thing, you get home from work, you sit down and play some games and stuff, I probably would stick with the PS5. I just think the diminishing returns factor is just so obvious right now for a lot of people that it's, although I will say I've complained about performance mode with things like Rebirth. So, I mean, I may have willed this into existence just from a lot of the complaining I did for performance modes, but even then, I know I'm part of that apparently. Even then, I feel like I would be like, well, I'll live with it until the PS6 because realistically, we're probably 4 years off from that. So, okay. I mean, GTA 6 is going to be the big factor for a lot of people. Is that 60? Is that 30 on the PS5 Pro? And I mean, Digital Foundry, I think others talked about it. It's probably not going to be 60 on the Pro. And then it's like, okay, or it'll be
choppy, or it'd be like an uncapped, and it wouldn't be like locked because that game's going to be nuts. And I think they also looked at it like what was it, the GTA 5 on the PS4. GTA 5 on PS4 is not 60, right?
They added first person mode back then, and then when they went to the PS5, I believe the Xbox Series, I believe it got 60 at that.
Yeah, it got 60 then, but I mean it's a PS3 game, and then it's even on a PS4, and even the PS4 version is not 60 for GTA 5. So that's like a whole bump up, right? And that's not 60. So you can't expect a refresh to be 60. At least, I mean, I wouldn't expect a refresh to be 60 for if a game is native 30, or that's what they're aiming for, like one of the most technologically advanced games. I wouldn't expect it to be able to double it and have the same quality of game, like unless you wanted the resolution to, I don't know, be like, 240p or something. So I don't know if that's gonna happen. I think it might still be 30, but we'll see, right? Maybe they'll be able to pull some miracles off.
It's the $700 price that hit pretty hard. When that popped up, I honestly think many people I think Sean, you mentioned it could be 700. I think you mentioned that at one point. I don't know. Did you expect 700 no disc drive though?
No, I was 700 disc drive.
Do you know how I know you expected there to be disc drive? Because when you first covered it, you didn't even mention that. So I feel like you were in your mind like, oh yeah, it's got a disc drive at 700. No,
yeah. Well, I figured if there was one without a disc drive, it would be 6.
Yeah, that was I saw that pop up and immediately I was like, whoa, there's no disc drive on the thing, and it's 700. Because in my mind I'm immediately like, okay, that thing's basically $800 up tax.
Yeah,
well, and Sony's not gonna make bountiful amounts of the disc drive attachment.
They already started selling out, and I feel like it wasn't because an overwhelming amount of people went for it. There just aren't a ton of those disc drives, technically speaking.
You can see how much they sold. You can see how much they sold. Amazon tells you they sold 2,000 before it sold out.
Yeah.
And the only reason people are buying it because they want to scalp it, just like they're going to do with the system.
They're going to scalp it. There's going to be legitimate buyers of it that want it, and then there's going to be a good amount of scalpers. There's going to be scalpers, they barely shipped any. They only sold 2,000. It wasn't like 100,000. It was only 2,000. That is a low shipment. That is a small amount. So yeah, scalpers and
you should be able to nuke my call. You should be able to swap your current slim drive. You have to take it out. You have to pair it once to your Pro. It'll basically change the key so it links up to yours, and then you're good. So yes, you will be able to, if you're going to trade in that PS5, because I see a lot of people doing that since GameStop announced they were going to give, I think, just over $400 in trade-in for the PS5 right now.
And you better do that shit quick, because what's going to happen is they're going to get a surplus of PS4 or PS5s. They're going to be like, oh, wait, no, we're not giving you 400 anymore. We got too many. We're going to give you 300 or 250 or some shit. Like, don't think that's going to last forever, people.
No, I give it like a week, to be honest.
The wild thing is that, like, even if you trade in like the 400, you still owe like 300
plus, yeah.
That's wild. It's like, oh, I got 400 credit. Yeah, you still owe like a whole nother system's worth 300. You want like the disk drive and everything.
The thing with the Slim though is you got to then also get the cover for it that covers up the fact there's no more drive in there, because you have the one that has like the slot on the side. You have to find the one that doesn't have that. Yeah, I know, right? See, that's an issue too. I don't know if GameStop would take it. That's the problem.
This is a cluster. F, bro. Come on now. This is ridiculous. Only with disk drives, bro. This is crazy. That man, I already said it, man. Disk drive is not an optional feature for a premium system. It's not, bro. It's not. And now, if you want to start the system with all digital and you weren't selling physical games from the beginning, then okay. But you can't go mid in the middle when people got big libraries and say, you guys obviously we're the hardest core, right? You guys $100 more because we're punishing you for having physical games. Like that's just like I said, that's the scummiest thing I've seen in a hot minute.
I mean, go through that library you have, pick some games you don't like, trade them in, get that drive.
No. I should have.
There you go.
I'm not getting Jim Ryan taxed for simply wanting to play a physical game, bro. This is his idea. I'm blaming him. This is his idea. This is his brain trust. This is his idea, bro. He's still catching L's even after he's retired. I'm still giving him the L here.
People have been trying to build PCs to like contend with this PS5 Pro, and there's been some craziness happening because of that. Like,
and I don't understand why people are doing this. PC's supposed to be a bit more expensive. You know why? Because you can do more things with it, and in the long run, you might save more money. I don't know why people are trying to build at the exact same price. Bro, it doesn't cost $80 a damn year for online. You know how much money you save if you play multiplayer games by being PC? You'll save hundreds of dollars over the course of a few years. So I don't know why people are bringing up, you want to build the same thing. No, you spend a bit more and you get controller options. You get all sorts of cool stuff with PC to where you'll save in the long run. It's multiple storefronts too, right? Multiple storefronts, better discounts on sales. So I don't get this whole build the same thing. No, you spend a bit more, then save more in the long run. I mean,
well, Evan knows Evan and I experience this a lot. No matter what you may tell somebody, if they just don't want to play on a PC, they don't want to play on a PC. It really does come down to that.
They'll make up any excuse. Oh, I don't want to update. Consoles have been updating for decades. I want to play in front of a TV. There's HDMI in the back of my fucking PC. I can hook it to a TV. I don't know what you're talking about.
That is, you know what? That's a lane I wouldn't mind seeing Valve actually attempt.
They've tried.
They have the Steam Deck, but like really, because the Steam Deck, I feel like maybe got them a bit more confident in the hardware game. I wouldn't mind them approaching something for like the living room that just has Steam loaded and offers a lot of the.
Well, they did that.
So yeah, they did that.
They licensed it out.
Yeah, they half-assed
then make it. I mean, something that's like not closed technically, but like the Steam Deck, where you have like the Steam OS and stuff loaded on it, and it's produced by them. It's not like
Valve,
Asus you make one,
controlled.
HP you make one, and it's just Alienware makes one.
Which I don't know, and not to go back in time, but I don't know why they did that because that's never been successful. Like no company that's done like sold licensing has ever been successful for that. A device like that, right?
I think they didn't make people pay them too much for their operating system because they'd been making that operating system for a while and they just wanted to see what people would do. Like it doesn't matter if they fail. Who cares if they fail? You can see what they do and go, oh, we could do this better, and then just work it later.
But you also have to think about if you have the Steam Deck, you can pair it with the system too. So save games, go back and forth between them and stuff. Good, Sean.
Well, here's another thing I think a lot of people are like they're trying to. When they're building the PC, they're trying to go like spec for spec, which doesn't work. No. Because I'm looking at a spec list for Hogwarts Legacy right now. If you have a 1080 Ti and something above like a Ryzen 5, so you can get that pretty fucking cheap. I can get 1080p, 60 frames per second, high quality settings. I'm a Hogwarts Legacy on a PC. But I spend $800 to play my Hogwarts Legacy PS5 disc, and I'm still at 30 frames per second. Huh. But hey, you know what? I got ray tracing now. So
the ray tracing seems to be the big push for them. And I feel like this system will actually ray tracing fairly well. And that's probably what they'll try to run benchmarks on and stuff. Because they're right now in the AMD cards in the lineup, there's technology in this PS5 Pro that doesn't exist yet for AMD's line. So they're doing things that AMD will have probably a year to a year and a half from now. So that's going to be their big push. And they did that with the PS4 Pro. They had like Polaris technology that wasn't available yet, and it was just in the system. So I feel like that is going to be a thing. And their PSSR, their upscaling, AI upscaling, that's going to be a big thing for them too. So apparently it's better than what AMD has now, but not as good as DLSS is what Digital Foundry said. So that's, again, the problem is, how do you show this to people on a stream? Because they showed up with Last of Us and they're like, look at this. Like,
okay, right. So wait, the chat is saying that Hogwarts Legacy runs 60 on standard PS5.
That's what I thought. That's what I was saying. I thought there was 60 frames. I thought maybe the Xbox One and PS4 versions run at 30 but like the PS5 and Xbox Series run at 60, and the crusty Switch version runs anywhere between 20 and 30.
I think it's with the because they have like a quality mode and they have like a frame rate mode. I think they were mentioning with like ray tracing quality mode. Like they were trying to be like, can we push this to 60? And remember when they showed it in the event, they were like, look at the floor, look at like the shadows and stuff. Digital Foundry was going over and been like, yeah, they're still running this at 30.
Yeah, I always do performance mode, so I don't really.
Did that surprise anybody when they gave us that stat that 75% of people turn on performance mode?
No, that surprised me. No.
Interesting, because these games seem to be developed with the opposite in mind half the time. Like it feels like performance mode is like an afterthought, and they're just like quality mode all the way. Like early on in the generation, I feel like we turn a game on and it defaulted to quality mode.
Yeah,
what is default to now?
I don't think that was a thing.
I think it's still kind of a thing.
What's the thing?
When you turn on a game and you just go through the options. If you never toggle it on a performance, it's just by default on quality mode, resolution mode. And I went back and looked, and I'm like, yeah, some of these games do just default you to quality mode earlier on in the generation. And then I started to realize some of the games just started to ship and they would default to performance mode. So I feel like there was a point where I guess developers or publishers started to realize this too.
I think Stellar Blade, just defaults to, I think it's the balanced or the frame rate mode. So yeah, I think it definitely doesn't default to the quality mode. So yeah.
That's another thing where I'm like, all right, diminishing returns. People are okay with performance if they have smoother gameplay. These are things that I hope just kind of set the standard for, and it sounds bad now, but next generation. Because we're just it's too late though. Like remember they start development on the next console almost immediately when they launch the thing, and now we see the PS5 Pro show up. This is like PS6 is off and running now, like behind the scenes. They're working on this thing.
I mean, taking notes, isn't Xbox talking about 2026 new hardware?
2026. Yep.
I mean, good job.
It kind of feels like Xbox is like
it's going to be
like they're kind of. It feels like they're kind of done with this generation. Doesn't it feel like that with Microsoft right now?
I think they're done with a lot of
this generation and last generation.
They feel like they're looking forward to what's next. I think not at this point it's profit mode, right? Like we got all this stuff. Now we can make so much money, and like they're trying to put their plans in to do that, which is going to be like the Steam Machine console thingy. Sorry if you guys hear banging. My wife is.
No, you're fine. I bring that up because analysts have mentioned that they believe that the current PS5 Pro that's been shown will sell roughly 13 to 14 million systems in its lifetime. So that would be, I'm going to go on a limb and say it'll probably sell about 12 to 13% of the overall PlayStation 5.
They got to get that price down. For me to think that it's going to sell as good as PS4 Pro, that price.
How is that going out on a limb? You're basically. It's pretty much a safe bet.
The price is too much for it to sell that. In my opinion,
I'm saying that means that the PS5 is going to sell 115 to 120 million.
I think that's true. I think that's going to happen. But I just think that the PS5 Pro is not. I mean, $700 is just for the Madden gamer, or for like you're not. I mean, or for like the Call of Duty guy, or the they're not going to buy that. That's the majority of people who are buying these systems. Is
10 mil.
10 mil seems 10 mil seems about right.
I don't think they're producing a lot of these things. I mean, they're going to produce enough, but they're not like, oh my gosh, we got to get 20 million of these things out next year.
I don't think it's just for the core, just for the dedicated core. I mean, I hope when they make one where this says, hey, it comes with a disc drive for 700. That would be, I'd be like, okay, maybe I'll sign up for that. Maybe they'll say it just comes with it. Like you can get a bundle with it, or there's like a Black Friday type of deal, or in the next number of years or however, but by then it'll be like, hey, the next system's coming, So
the other aspect that was brought up by analysts was that the reason we see Sony making this kind of a push and are throwing these kind of numbers up on screen is from a lack of competition. Does that sound right?
Might be something to it, but I mean, these plans were put into place. I don't know if they have the numbers in terms of how much they're going to sell it for beforehand, but these plans were put into place. I mean, I think Sony was going to do what they do for prices, right? I mean, I don't know. I don't know if it's because there's, oh man, nobody else is selling. Are they willing to take a fat loss on the PS5 Pro if Xbox is doing a bit better? Like, are they willing to take that hit? You know, like let's just say Xbox
money on this thing.
Yeah, let's say Xbox was doing good, and they still going to make their PS5 Pro. So are they going to price it at 600 and take a huge loss, or price it at a lower? I don't know if they're going to do that. I mean, maybe they don't raise the price of controllers by $5. You know,
that might be true.
Yeah, maybe they don't do stuff like that. But I mean, do they raise the price of PSN? You know, do they do stuff like that? I mean, who knows? It's
the fact that that's coming up though in conversation from like analysts who are following the market closely. That is just hearing that is kind of concerning, just a little bit. It's like they're noticing it. And they're not like we look at this stuff every day. They're looking at the market, but they're not like, oh, what's this studio? What's going on some of these console sales here? Like the fact they're seeing that just overall, it does concern me a bit that that is becoming a legit reality where. Sony might just be hanging out like, oh, we can kind of do whatever we want. Okay, let's see what happens.
So. Yeah, competition's always good. I mean, obviously you need competition, but I mean, sometimes you can think that, oh, you can do stuff like that, and then the market won't respond the way that you want. So you can vote with your wallet too. So we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, I think that there might be some truth to that. Like Sony's not getting pushed like they've gotten pushed before, you know? So
yeah, that concerns me more going into next generation. With like the PlayStation, so what would they price that at? 600 starting base?
1,000
disc drive.
$1,400.
It'd be weird if we get to the end of the generation, the PS5 Pro is still 700, and then they unveil a PS6 for 600. That wouldn't make any sense.
You have to buy a sound chip. You want the sound chip, extension? $75.
You know, it would make sense is if the PS6 is 700 as well. And then the PS5 Pro goes down to 600. Wouldn't that be crazy if we have a generation that launches and it's $700?
I don't know. I don't know if the $700 system can be.
That sounds crazy to me, but that'd be 2028. Viable. So we still have a few years of inflation, I guess, tacked on. I don't know. Yeah, that's where we are now. We're comparing stuff with inflation. We're like doing these. Like, we're
that's
moving
Jeff
like
Keighley. That's Jeff Keighley's. Jeff Keighley's ass doing that.
What was that?
I don't know what the hell he's doing, bro.
That was weird. That was a strange. That one. I was like, Jeff, what are you doing over?
He got community noted. It was great.
Yeah, he got hit hard with that because people were like, "You didn't put the disc drive on it. You got to put the disc drive on it for 780, right?" That's
you got
PS3
to.
has a disc drive.
They all had
disc backwards compatible too. The first one.
PS3 could read CDs.
Yeah,
CDs.
PS5 can't read CDs.
It had multi-memory. It had like memory card slots. The fat PS3. It had 4 USB ports. That thing was a beast. It plays PS1, PS2, and PS3 games. Obviously, it was crazy. It was worth. I mean, it was expensive as hell. Most people couldn't.
It was pretty expensive. Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
people gasped back then when they announced it on stage.
Yeah, it was too expensive. Like, but it was definitely like you got the full thing. You bought it. You got the full value.
And let's be real, it's not like the PS3 started off super hot in sales or anything like that. It wasn't until price drops and revisions that it really started to pick up. So
yep, that's true.
We're it's I don't know. He's weird.
It's just I feel like this is a product that we'll look back on years from now and be like, oh, that PS5 Pro set the market for what we would be shocked at seeing on screen for a price. Because 4 years from now, we'll be like, oh yeah, it was 700 back then. Okay. Well, this $800 system doesn't look so bad.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, right. I don't really know where you go from here because people are just like when you see it visually, people just don't see that impressed by the PS5 Pro. So we're there. It feels like we're there. Diminishing returns are here. There's nowhere really to go in terms of that. They gotta think of something new for next gen.
8K.
That's what it feels like. But like with PC, do people care about 8K on PC?
No. I barely care about 4K.
Most people care about like the 14. Give me 1440p 120.
That's all we
fine.
need.
Yeah, ultra wide. Ultra wide's a big. That's really cool to have that. But like no one's thinking, oh, I gotta get 8K going. They have to. Even Nvidia's probably like, come on, we need these people to start asking for 8K so we can sell them cards they don't need
for PC because I mean if you're playing on a monitor, the size of it,
it's right there.
It's right there. You don't want to. You don't need 8K like this, right? Who needs 8K when your monitor is right freaking there?
You probably would have needed it. Like you probably would have needed those GPUs for VR if that had taken off. But even that hasn't really done enough for them to warrant. Oh yeah, we need these whole line of GPUs for VR now because that's a big thing. No, so people are just kind of hanging out content. And you feel like that would be good for manufacturers because then they can start producing just cheaper systems and cheaper parts and make more money on it. But they're going the other way with it. It's, I don't know.
I think
it seems weird right now.
The two is like, we get this new hardware, we get this stuff, but it's like the game's output is not like it's been incredible. If the game's output was like lit, where you're getting a lot of big Sony first party games, see all that crap that's in Astro Bot, if we were getting all those franchises and they were doing well, I think people would be like, oh, all right. But it's not. It's like huge. Like they're buying third party games in order to, you know, to have the exclusives, whatever. Right, Final Fantasy or Stellar Blade or whatever the case is, but it's not like they're dropping Spider-Man level hits all the time or God of War level hits. So I think that's also a big issue too. It's like
you got Concord, you got Until Dawn remake coming out,
flopping Concord or flip flopping Concord.
Let's touch on Concord actually real quick. Also, you know.
Is it not weird? Is it not weird when you get one of the Astro Bots and you're just like, man, if only that company was still around, and then you just like keep moving?
Is there a Concord?
No,
I don't think so. Did they remove it?
No, but they got that Shadow of Colossus bot in there. You're like, oh yeah, I remember those days. Yeah. You just keep moving.
There's also been a lot of frustration online of people who are mad at other people buying the PS5 Pro. Hey man, let people spend their money. Let them spend their money. There's at the end of the day, 10 mil we're thinking maybe for this console. That's not. There's going to be probably 105 million regular PS5s that sell. Let's be real.
Yeah.
So there's a lot. Yeah, I keep seeing a lot of frustration actually online over.
A lot of these people are hypocrites, though. I will say that a lot of these guys that are sitting here talking about space, they'll be the ones that are saying, "Oh, why are you buying that?" So I legitimately screenshotted it. So there are definitely guys that are pulling that bullshit, like hypocritical. Don't tell me how to spend my money when they be telling people and policing people on shit all the time with Nintendo stuff, with Xbox stuff. But now that it's PlayStation, don't tell me how to spend my money. So I do want to put that out there. There are some flip-flopping hypocrites out there, but I agree. Like people pocket watching, it's weird. But there's a lot of people that are out here like max cap on that. So
I mean, I think you can.
I won't say who though.
Say this
I got screenshots.
Doesn't make any sense, but people want to buy it.
I got screenshots of who, but I won't share them until if I have to.
I'll have the system and I will be taking it apart before I even turn it on. So there you go.
I hope it fucking blows up.
Yeah.
When you're taking it apart.
Why would you say that? That's so mean.
It's true though.
Wait,
how would it blow up without any? It's not plugged in.
Yeah, but like maybe something got like shifted around or something. Or
oh my goodness,
you never know.
I mean, it speaks more to Sean's understanding of electronics than anything.
Yeah,
else.
I don't know shit. Dog.
Completely unplugged system suddenly just blows up his house.
It could happen.
Didn't Sony laptops?
Sure. No, it absolutely can.
Hey,
sure.
Those laptops did that. It just blows up out of nowhere.
The Concord is gone. Have anyone sad about that?
Evan's sad. He's a PC shooter guy. You're sad? Tell the truth, Evan.
It's got to be a good shooter if I'm going to be sad about it, right? Like that's going to be expensive, John, in maybe a year or two.
Yeah, John, you got $300 right there in your hand.
Sealed, this
baby.
floating around. Ryan said that he has a video showing how to reseat these, so it's just annoying. It just floats around in there. I have a sealed copy though, so I got it.
You gonna play?
I got it at cost, and now it's for some reason worth like 3 times as much. I have no idea why, but there you go. They were taking these out of people's libraries digitally, so maybe that's why.
Yoink.
Yeah, that's mine now. Here's money back. Oh, okay. I mean, you can't really do anything with it, so whatever. It's weird because Mag had the same thing, and that's worth nothing. So I don't know. Maybe
this will be worth nothing.
Failed so spectacularly. I'm not sure. It's very strange. But Concord is gone. They pulled it down after 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
Well, Mag lasted a lot longer than Concord did.
Yeah, Mag was around for like what, a couple of years?
Yeah.
Maybe it's just a piece of history. Like it's that moment in time for Sony that was so bad that the people want to just have that like down in the record books. I don't know, but it was
like a cursed.
It was
object.
Ugly. Evan, did you play Concord at all?
No, I watched enough of it to know I was not going to be happy with it.
You kept telling me you're looking for a PvP game on PC. And
yeah,
here comes a brand new one.
And then I watched one that looked like it was moving in slow motion with people I didn't give a shit about. And it's like, cool, I'm good moving on.
Tamu Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes. We got Overwatch at
used
home, boys.
$40 a Space Marine 2 purchase on Concord, and then you would have played it, and they would have given your money back. So that
nobody wants to play that, John.
Yeah, I know. I don't blame you. It's not very interesting at all. Even a little bit. Even the back is boring. There's not even a screenshot on there.
That's how much they hated their game. They don't want to show you it. There's not even on the box.
You need to know that information on the back, bro. It's important. What are you talking about?
Herman Hulst, though, he fucking loved that game.
Yeah.
Yeah, whoever greenlit this game, they got to. That's the weirdest part to me.
I can't trust Herman Holst though with that hairline that he got. That hairline.
I thought the quote was, "It's a game." Like I thought his quote was basically, "Yeah, it's a game."
Whoever not only greenlit it but then bought the studio.
It was Herman Holst.
Yeah, I told you. I don't trust that guy.
Sean's calling out Herman Holst. I like it.
What's he do now? Well, I don't know. Major Nelson might be fucking replying.
He's running a business. He's running a business.
Fuck up.
Nah, they can't be trusting people with Vegeta hairlines, bro. I'm telling you, Herman Holst talking that bullshit.
Sean's calling out all those people.
I don't care.
Major Nelson gonna show up in the chat now, looking for Sean.
This is way past his bedtime. What are you talking about?
I thought you were gonna say way past his prime. I was gonna say because he was like relevant like on the 360. Watching that dumbass show that he had.
Man. That's my biggest thing is Sony able to recognize these games? Because maybe Last of Us Online was the move, and
of course
they
it
just
was
can't
the move.
recognize
It's more so the move. You have a strong IP with a dedicated fan base. You got a goddamn TV show.
Yeah,
you got all this shit going on, and you're like, no, let's release Concord. This will be better. You know, people will like this. Like, no, you fucking idiots. People love. Little known fact, I loved the first multiplayer in The Last of Us. I thought it was fucking great. It was fun. It was kind of different than a lot of other multiplayer things. Now you have another game to build off of. So you have new environments, new characters. Whether you like the characters or not, that's up to you. But you could have done so much more with it. It's ridiculous.
I know, like hindsight. Why didn't they just take that first one and just say, we're going to add more stuff to it? Like, why try to reinvent the wheel when people just take that and make the graphics better, add more stuff to it, then add your live service, whatever to it. Like, people still played it, right? Or is this still I think you can still play it. Can you?
Yeah, you can play it. Yeah, it plays on the remastered version through the PS4 on the PS5. Yep.
Probably a few thousand people still
finds matches immediately.
Yeah, so then why not just take that and just build instead of trying to reinvent? I mean, I get it; they're a big, like they always try to go big at Naughty Dog, but I don't know, man. To me, it seemed like considering the environment the PS5's in, like it would have just been easier to do that. When I heard that people were still playing, I'm like, well, why don't they just? I remember saying, I think on a live stream, I was like, why don't they just put that on PS5? Like, why don't they just make it to where people can just play that on without the better graphics and more stuff? Just build upon what you got right there, you know.
We talked about the Astro Bot scope, like
Holst.
the scope that Astro Bot had versus a lot of these other Sony games. If you have Last of Us Online, you go, wait, does this thing actually have to be this massive live service game, or could it be like the Astro Bot size multiplayer game where we put it out there, it's $30 or something, and it's just the arena style gameplay that we have with Last of Us.
Just do fan service.
Yeah, it just take $30 from everyone, because it seems like there are a bunch of people who would pay you that.
I'm not even a multiplayer guy, but I would have definitely checked it out. Like I would have absolutely checked it out just to see what it was about. You know, I didn't play much of the PS3 one. I know I played a little bit, but I didn't really play much of it. But I played a ton of Uncharted 2.
I think a lot of people played Uncharted. Yeah, it was when it went to the PS4, I think, The Last of Us, that it became more tenable as a multiplayer game because the frame rate was better and stuff, I think. But yeah.
Yeah, but the Uncharted, I played a ton of that. So I would have definitely checked that out. If they would have did $30-$40, even $50, just put out a cool multiplayer. You get better graphics, more weapons, more guns. And it would have been, 3 years development or something, and then get the game out. Like, just see. And that would have done, would that not have done incredible? I think that would have done incredible, but
I think it would have done better than what they did with Concord.
I mean, that's not hard to do. I mean,
they got to pay Jade Raymond money now.
Oh, dude, that Fair Games is going to be an interesting one.
Yeah, maybe it's good. Helldivers.
Yeah, maybe.
It's got a spot in the market for it. Like, it's not a hero shooter, which is good. It's a heist shooter. Like, I guess
it looks like a shitty Payday.
Oh gosh,
and that says a lot. You haven't seen it, exactly. Why haven't I seen it? Hasn't this game been in development for a while? What's Jade?
I think it's been a bit. Yeah, it's been a bit.
You guys should have something to show. Maybe they'll show me at the State of Play.
I hope they show it.
Wacky cast of characters. a rich $1 billion company making a game telling you rich people bad. Okay. Make it make sense, man. What was the budget for this game? More than most people will see in a fucking lifetime.
Probably more than all of us will see in a lifetime.
Yeah. You can combine everyone in this fucking chat, all 2,000 plus people. Probably more than we'll ever see combined in a lifetime.
Man, imagine spending that much on Concord and it flopping like that, bro. That's got to be like somebody just kicked you in the balls, like 100%, like just
well, there's also the secret. Kicker. We have that Amazon The Secret Level that they're doing a Concord episode still. It's happening.
Meanwhile, Tango Gameworks had to pack up their trophies and move out of their building. it's like Jesus.
Yeah, what if that Concord episode airs and everyone's all of a sudden interested in Concord and the game got pulled and it's dead?
There ain't nobody interested in Concord.
That would be so funny though.
What is the story going to be about? Are they going to try to include?
I don't know. I know what one of the characters was called, and I played the game for like 4 hours, like Star Child, and because it looks like the character from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, it looked like a bootleg Guardians of the Galaxy.
That was definitely Camus.
You got Marathon too. I'm sure that's going to be a big hit.
You see what the producer said? He was like, "Can I just make my game?" When people were saying, "Oh, Marathon might do the same thing," he's like, "Bro, let me just make my game, please. Just try to make my game.
Convince me." Is the onus falls on you, pal, not me. I'm looking at what's been happening. There's more proof to say that your game is going to have problems than you just coming out and
just
saying,
let him make his game in peace, Sean. Stop trying to be so pushy with him, all right?
Tell me something. What you been doing? What you been
doing? I will not.
Sean, what's your stance on extraction shooters? Like, do you play any at all?
Yeah, we played some, didn't we, John?
Dude, there's not a lot of extraction shooters out there.
There's not a lot.
There's Escape from Tarkov. That's one, but you don't even have that on Steam.
Didn't Ubisoft make one like a rainbow, like a crappy Rainbow Six?
Yes, it was. It was Rainbow Six Extraction, right? We played.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I played that for a little while. You guys played it once, and you were like, "I give up."
Yeah, we played it because it was dog shit.
Yeah, I didn't say it was good. That was like it's going into Game Pass after a month special, and I was like, let's try this.
People played it were like, yeah, we're going back to Siege, bro. I remember I saw who did I see playing that, and then he was like, yeah, we're gonna play Siege now, guys. And he just cut the game off. Like, dude, I don't think he even finished the freaking match, dude.
It wasn't great.
Beer Baron in the chat says that Marathon is already being changed from Extraction to Hero Shooter.
Oh, don't do that.
Can you confirm this, Beer Baron?
Because honestly,
do that.
Classic Memphis Grizzlies logo that's done like the Vancouver Grizzlies, so I like that.
Yeah, because honestly, casual extraction shooter, there is, I think, a marketplace for it right now. Because you either get super ridiculous Tarkov or like nothing.
Biggie Butters also saying, isn't Marathon a hero shooter now?
Oh no, don't
over.
do that. No, so they are working on. So Bungie has Marathon, but then they also have a game that got spun off into Sony because Sony pulled like 80 of them or something, or 100 of them in. And then they're working on this game that's codenamed Gummy Bears. And I believe that is a weird hero fighting MOBA
extraction. It's an extraction hero shooter. So maybe they'll tap into that casual market, but they better make the heroes. I don't know, like hero shooters. When I look at a hero shooter and it's a bunch of like, this isn't Overwatch era anymore. Like you have companies like Star Wars making hero shooters. You have companies like Marvel Rivals making hero shooters. Those are heroes. Those are people that you look at and you say, hey, I know who this motherfucker is. You're not trying to learn the lore of some fucking random person and like trying to, oh, this person's awesome. Like, does that happen? Is that a thing? Like, isn't that the reason why?
Did we?
Fucking superheroes
Apex Legends without any all those people in there.
But also Apex was also kind of like an earlier one. You know, I feel like Apex was the last successful new sort of thing like that.
No, but there's a balance to it. Like if you can pull off good character design, even if no one knows who it is, they'll like it. Like it just there's this kind of middle of the road you have to hit where everyone on both sides goes, "Yeah, we got this," rather than leaning huge into an extreme and only having like 30 people be like, "That's fantastic," because it's not surviving on 30 sales. It's not going to happen.
Look at Concord.
Well, on top of that, we did have Annapurna Interactive. They were trying to, they were trying to come to an agreement to where they would spin off as independent. And apparently talks broke down with the ownership for Annapurna, and 25 of them just left, immediately resigned. And then their Interactive, which is their video game wing, just immediately went into chaos because, well, no one was really working there. So now apparently their plan is to completely replace everyone, just go on a big hiring spree. And remember, this is technically the company that we had Remedy they signed with to help co-finance Control 2 and then also handle TV. And I think they were in a TVN movie or just TV shows for Control and Alan Wake. So this is a strange one to see happen out of nowhere, because I assume they're just walking off and they're going to just go make a studio. This is what it seems like to me. And I guess they didn't want them to take Annapurna Interactive's name with them.
All I know is the video game industry is in a great place right now. I mean,
this keeps happening.
It keeps happening. Did we talk? Microsoft layoffs happened this week.
650 people got laid off.
Concord complete bomb, but no, everything's peachy keen. What are you guys talking about?
Since Microsoft bought Activision Blizzard, they laid off 2,500 people.
It's the greatness of the industry. Everything's thriving.
Yeah, there's some shaky stuff out there right now. It's looking
gotta make room for their $200 million budgets.
It's looking real strange out there. Yeah, Annapurna, it did feel like they were. I mean, they've been putting out more and more quality stuff, but then it just seemed like they were about to really take off, and now it's all left. So I assume they're gonna announce a studio before the end of the year and be like, "Yep, we're over here now." So that seems to be the new thing. You leave a studio or a big company and you go make a smaller studio. And then we don't hear about whatever game we're working on for like 4 years. So that's most likely, I think, what's going to happen to Annapurna anyway. That was wild.
Here's what I'm going to do, John. I'm going to quit the Spawncast. I'm going to take everybody here and I'm going to make the cast spawn. That's what I'm going to
cast spawn.
Yeah, see how you like it, buddy. See how you
the cast spawn.
It won't even be a podcast. It'll be a gastropub we'll all work at. It'll be fun.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to talk about video games and more.
Can we do some? I did pull some questions here, and then I also have the super chats I want to go through. I did Hexaroot's question in the Discord about the stand. Should be good. We'll see. You know what, Hexaroot, I will test that just for you. When I get the PS5 Pro, I will stand it up and see how it does. I'll attempt to push it over. Let's see. We have Zeno says, "What is the most?" Zeno says, "What is the most unplayable video game port or remaster you ever played?"
WWE 2K18.
I was going to say that.
Switch.
I will say Cyberpunk on the Xbox One.
I can't remember anything.
WWE is kind of funny though back then, Sean, right? There was like slow motion.
No, I was not laughing.
You kind of were.
I was screaming.
You were screaming. You were really mad. That was a good one though. But in Cyberpunk, the people looked like mashed potatoes.
It functioned.
Strong word.
I think without player modifications, Dark Souls on PC, because people modified the hell out of it to make it work perfectly. It was great. Yep.
Remember Alan Wake on the Switch when you looked at the mountains?
Oh my god!
It was like turning green. That was a good one. that was a good one.
Man, bro, Apex Legends on Switch. That
was
my god, bro, that was the Vaseline times 2.
But in its defense, it still played okay because I played it. I think I made a video on it.
Did you play it at launch?
It was just blurry.
Yeah, it looked like shit, but it played good. You can't say that about WWE 2K18.
Okay, yeah, that's true.
It literally didn't function.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it played, but it was just so blurry. You couldn't see nothing on Apex. Like you You could have seen it. I'm trying to shoot somebody. That's like, oh, that's just like a building or something like that. Oh, it's just like a different color light pole or something like that.
We got Ark Survival in the chat for the Switch.
Yeah, that was a brutal one too.
Survival.
When it first came out.
One.
Yeah, they kind of fixed it. Yeah, they kind of fixed it a little bit, but
they kind of did. They patched it.
Yeah, but yeah, when it first,
I mean, they had to basically make a whole new version of it. Really.
Yeah,
I'm surprised Apex is even on the Switch. I'll be I keep it a buck. Like, crazy that game is even on there. So.
See, we had Anime Nerd says, how do you make time for playing all the games you need to play for the show and spending time with family and friends? Yeah, Sean, how do you do it?
No, chill at the crib. Instacart your food. Instacart your groceries.
Yeah, never leave your house.
Nah, I gotta go to Grandma's tomorrow. Well, fucking
You
mom's
get them
in
pizzas.
town. My mom came and stayed with me because she flew in late, so she was here Thursday night. But she cleaned my dishes too. That was kind of a trap I laid. I didn't wash my dishes. Yeah, I didn't wash my dishes for like a week because I knew she was gonna wake up and fuck them a lot earlier than I did.
A week? You have dishes in the sink for a week?
I like to imagine Sean has subscribed to purchasing dishes on Amazon. He just chucks them into a room in his house when he's done with them. Moves on.
Usually I don't use many dishes. I use paper plates.
Oh, okay. I just imagine you pick up the plate and just throw it into the wall as soon as
you're the type of dude that accidentally bites the paper plate, and even though you knew that you bit it and you're eating, so you're just like, oh well.
Flavor.
It's just like part of the food at that point.
No, I'm not that fucking bug crawling dude person. No, I'm not him. My house is clean. It's just there were dishes in the sink that I didn't feel like cleaning because I knew she would. When I woke up, all my dishes were clean.
Shout out to Mama RGT.
Yup.
Yeah, it's easier when you're working from home, so that is a lot easier.
Who does the dishes, John? Who does the dishes in your house?
The dishwasher.
Use the dishwasher?
Damn.
That's what you named your kids? Jesus.
That's what I was gonna say. That's what you named your wife? Good Lord.
Who
put it in the dishwasher?
You actually use the dishwasher? It's such a waste of water.
I put the stuff in the dishwasher.
Yes, I do have a mechanical dishwasher.
I have one too, but I don't use it. I just wash the dishes by hand.
I don't
get them cleaner that way. The dishwasher, like, it's good, but it ain't as good as you washing them with.
Because if you eat pasta, nah, bro. If you eat pasta, man, and it stains, like, because I like to use a lot of Tupperware stuff.
Yeah.
So like that shit gets stained, and then you got to clean it by hand anyway. So
yeah, I got to clean everything by hand because I like to be meticulous, like with my dishes. So anyway, but it's only just me and my wife and my little boy, so it's not like I have a ton of dishes anyway.
Let's see. Garrett says, you cover a lot of games I've played myself. What do you think about fan hacks? For example, I thoroughly enjoyed Fire Emblem Sacred Echoes. It's a hack of Fire Emblem Shadows of Valentia using the GBA engine.
Oh,
I talk about a lot of fan hacks of Nintendo 64 wrestling games in an upcoming book. Shared the link in the chat to like the Facebook page. Heard there's a big announcement tomorrow.
Big announcement.
Yeah.
Big announcement.
Leaving your house for a signing?
No, I have to go to my grandma's house tomorrow, but at some point there's going to be an announcement.
I've thought about looking at some, what ones I wouldn't mind getting into at some point is like one of the better Pokemon fan hacks just to see how that works out, but I just haven't had a chance. I don't even know there's so many Pokemon fan hacks. Like
there's a video that Did You Know Gaming just released on Pokemon hack. I don't know if you got a chance to see that, but watch that one if you really want to know which one to. I was watching.
Okay.
It. Yeah, it was Pokemon. It was like the fan games, like the lawyer stuff, like the fan games that have been taken down through Nintendo's legal process.
Those are the good ones.
Yeah, those are usually some of the good ones, right?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Those are some of the good ones. So watch that video, or and there's some really cool ones in there.
Zach says Pokemon Unbound.
Yeah, that's one of them. There's some other ones too, though. There's some other ones.
Okay. Pokemon Renegade Platinum.
Just play the GTA Chaos mod. Just randomly has things happen while you're playing it. It's great.
Just randomly going to review a Pokemon hack one day. Just randomly pop up on the channel.
Just act like it's a no one too.
Yeah. Chris says, what about a wireless Oh, what about wireless charging for the Switch too? I think that would be a good feature. It doesn't get talked about much because it's more of like a convenience thing. That's cool. You put it down somewhere. Even if they don't give you a wireless pad, just having that built in, it's not difficult. A lot of phones have it. It's pretty straightforward. I think it'd be cool to have that just as an option. It's like, hey, if you have a wireless charging pad, you put your new system down on it, it'll start charging. Why not? Build it in.
Switch too.
I think it'd be good. People add wireless charging to their Switch now through modifying it. So why not throw that in there?
Switch too.
Oh, Mr. Anderson says, my question is, do you think the animated episode that is released over Concord is going to spark interest in the game like the animated series did for Cyberpunk 2077? That I already said it. That'd be really funny if that happened. I don't think it will, but I still think it would be very ironic because Sony ripped that thing down. So we'll see. Let me go to some of the super chats here. The cool guy says, man, good to see the crew today. How's life treating you, John? Pretty good. Pretty good. Also, how are y'all feeling about the PlayStation Pro thing going on? I think we covered that pretty well. Shout out to the cool guy.
Shout out to cool guy.
Chalupa says, thanks, Cass, for helping me train for my first half marathon. I listen to these on my long run every week. I wouldn't have been able to cross the finish line without the crew. Astro Game of the Year, by the way. Matt. Wow. Half marathon. Whew. That's a half marathon more than I've run. So that's pretty good. It's good. Pickman says, rest of crew must be busy. Yep, work with jobs. African Triforce says, I think the Mario comparisons hurt Astro Bot sales more than helping it. Mario's been around so long that a lot of people, especially Japan, see Astro Bot as a been there, done that type of situation.
I don't think so.
I think it's just a good 3D platformer, but because if you think of a really good 3D platformer, you immediately go, oh yeah, Mario.
Right.
I mean, you're gonna immediately, that's gonna come to mind. So
I think it's just like in terms of Japan. I mean, that could be part of it, but it's really just people had enough. I don't know. I made a video talking about a lot of Japanese gamers are just clowning like the situation that's going on with Sony right now. And they're putting up pictures of you can for PS5 Pro, you can buy 6 Nintendo Switch Lites, 4 Nintendo Switches, 3 PS4 Pros. The multiple price increases. They just are fed up. They just had enough, man. To be honest, that's part of it though.
Kevin says, I asked in OJ stream, Sony announces PS5 Pro is backwards compatible with all PlayStation consoles, even PS3. Still have to buy the disc drive. Does it make it worth it? People have really brought this backwards compatibility thing up a lot. And I just don't think it's going to happen because they really want to push PlayStation Plus. And they're adding Mr. Mosquito this week randomly, which is, that's fun. But I would love to see a system Sony releases that does backwards compatibility for all their consoles.
I mean,
but I feel like
for $700 to get true backwards compatibility with it'd be worth more than $700. People would be willing to pay more than
if you put the disc into the system.
Yeah, if you can take the disc and put it, or there's some type of fake marketplace setup for the games that have been released or something like that, or even just it would be worth more than $700. All I was asking for was a damn disc drive for it to be worth $700. Sony couldn't even freaking to play PS4 and PS5 games. I couldn't even get that standard in there. So yeah, if it was, I mean, that would make the system so expensive though. But yeah, absolutely, it'd be worth it.
Huddy says, can we get a bet between OJ and RGT on Metaphor? What are you guys betting? What's happening?
For sale?
Game of the year.
Oh, like Metacritic score?
Metacritic?
Like above, above or below so much. Like,
what do you feel comfortable with, Sean?
He can get you a signed copy of his book.
I mean, it's more what you feel comfortable. What do you think it's going to score? And I'll say if I think it'll go lower.
It's tough to say, man. It's tough right now. I'm going to say it scores. I got to give a range. I'm going to say it scores at least an 88 to 92, somewhere in that range.
Wow. Okay, that's good. Interesting.
I might take that.
Sean?
I might
wait, hold on. Well, you gotta land on one number. So like if it's like 89 or 90, where are we in there somewhere?
I'm comfortable going as low because I'm looking at P3R, right? I'm trying to be diligent with this stuff. All right. I'm not trying to be brash. I'm trying to be diligent with it. Don't want to turn into a Tears of the Kingdom situation or Metroid Dread situation. So I'm looking at Persona 3 Reload. That's an 87. I think this game is going to be better than that game. That's an 87. So I think it'll be at least a point better than that game. you know, and Persona 3 Reload, it's good. I think it's solid, but that's the worst of the newer Persona games. Persona 4, Persona 5 are better than that game. I think this game's better than that game as well. So I'm gonna give it an 88, you know, at least bare minimum 88. But you know,
I mean, it could be better, but who's the turning of the guard of reviewers who's gonna get it? Like that's all that matters.
It could be, but Persona 3 Reloaded came out this year, and you know, so I'm guessing it's gonna be the same type of people generally reviewing it.
I'm saying less than a 90. If you want to go 90, I'll go 90.
I can't go 90. That's a bad bet for me. You know why that's a bad bet? Because there's only 3 major new games this year that have gotten a 90 score. So that's a bad bet to take. You see what I'm saying? Like there's only been 3.
What was your lowest?
My lowest was nothing lower than 88. I'll say 88 or above. But you know, that's where I'm gonna go. But I gotta play the numbers part. I gotta play the numbers game.
Because I see like 85, 86. I think it'll get a couple off the wall scores.
So you're thinking, okay, so we go 88 or higher, OJ wins, 87 or lower, Sean wins.
Yes.
Okay. I can do that.
Okay. You guys can decide whatever the prize is or something. You figure that out.
I can do that. Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Also, someone did bring up the Metroid Prime 4 thing, Sean. We're still waiting for the special edition to get announced for Sean to figure out what he wants from it. Yeah, so we didn't forget. Ashoka says, OJ, have you heard that song with Mario and Luigi where Luigi is telling Mario to stop simping for Peach? It's hilarious. I still have the song stuck in my head.
Simping. I don't know if I've heard that yet.
I don't think I've heard that one. Thank you, Ashoka. Cristobal says, do you guys think Sony priced the PS5 Pro based on the Sparkle Xbox Series X being $600, same 2 terabyte storage, just no disk drive? And what's your, Sean, so you've been playing it, what's your top 3 for MVC2?
I'm a basic bitch. I go Ryu, Wolverine, and Jill.
Oh, very good. I just remember using Cable all the time for that final boss.
Yeah, I mean, Cable's kind of Cable, Magneto. Those are like the OP characters in the hierarchy.
Yeah. The Xbox Series X 2 terabyte is indeed $600. So maybe. I mean, I almost wonder if that just shows the part cost behind the scenes. Really, at this point, Chill says bought a hack launch PS5 instead of the Pro. I figured I would rather get to decide what games get an upgrade instead of leaving it to Sony and devs. For example, Bloodborne isn't ever getting patched. Yeah, I mean, they do have launched PS5. People have been hacking the PS5 and doing different things for games, so patching them. Chill then says some more examples would be from Digital Foundry taking looks at some PS4 games running on a modded PS5, like Red Dead Redemption 2, a game that Rockstar refuses to patch to run at 60, and others is running at 4K 60. Nerds Rambling says, I've been playing Astro Bot, and so far I like it, but I don't know. It's a solid 7 out of 10 for me. It's fun, but feels like a PlayStation-made Kirby game design-wise. It's fun, but mechanically super safe.
But would you give Kirby a higher score than 7 out of 10?
Wait, I will say this. I don't think it's as low as that, but Astro's toolkit is there's nothing. He has a jump, he has a spin jump, and he has a beam. That's it. There's no roll, there's no aerial, there's no ground pound jump, there's no backflip. Like his toolkit's low. It's the same as his toolkit in the other game. So I understand. I don't think it's 7 though, but I understand like his toolkit is pretty low. So I mean that could have been maybe a little bit. Maybe they add like 1 or 2 more different types of jumps that he can do for like But yeah, I don't think it's a 7. That's a little too low. But I get it. All right.
Spyro says, I'll miss the lives. RGT, who do you made in MVC2? You just mentioned that.
I did.
Chill says, can finally play Demon's Souls at 4K 60 in graphics mode instead of performance mode, or if I choose performance, I can get 120. That was not stable. Concerned Citizen says, Switch 2 will launch with Diddy Kong Racing Remake.
The Nintendo Switch 2.
Fransby says, be happy, I'll give you Indiana Jones a cinematic 30 FPS for the PS5 Pro. This is definitely Todd Howard, right? Because then shout out to Fransby, gifted 50 Spawnwave memberships, and I saw some people popping up in the chat, by the way, with the membership tag all of a sudden after Fransby dropped this. So give a big shout out to Fransby in the chat if you got a membership from that. Definitely, that's got to be Todd Howard. I refuse to believe it.
Todd Howard, roll through to the Spawncast pre-show streams once we change it up. Roll through, my man. Roll through.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Come on through, Fransby.
roll through, brother.
Yeah, big shout out to Fransby. Very, very generous.
Shout out to Fransby, man.
Chris says, I challenge RGT85 to a round of MVC2.
I mean, I'm not very good, but sure.
Pour Me Another says, Black Myth or Astro for Game of the Year so far? I'm going to go with Astro.
Black Myth
has, my experience with Black Myth on the PS5 has been great. I feel like I've played it on the PC. It would have been much better in terms of like performance, visual clarity and stuff. But I did like the core game.
Yeah, the core game isn't as good as Astro. I don't think it's as good as a lot of other games released. It's a cool game, but it's like you'll see when they make the sequel will be so much better, and people will be like, oh yeah, that's now that's as good as like maybe DMC or Bayonetta. But if you're into DMC, Bayonetta, and all that, like those games crush. I don't think it's even close, like with Black Myth. There's too many flaws.
I enjoyed Black Myth Wukong, but I do kind of see a tier between that and Astro in terms of like quality. On the PS5 specifically. Again, on PC for Black Myth Wukong, when you have all the GPU power you can throw at it, it's much better than what I experienced. But
I still think Astro's a bit better, but
PS5
everybody's opinion. Yeah, everybody's opinion. I mean, people think Black Myth is great.
Lemstar says, anyone a Shannon Sharp fan this week?
I've always been a fan of him. Him and Michael Irvin.
That was great.
I got Michael Irvin a little higher than Shannon.
Shannon Sharp is legitimately the GOAT because not only is he Hall of Famer on the field, he's a Hall of Famer in media.
So is Michael Irvin.
Michael Irvin is not as entertaining as Shannon Sharp. Shannon Sharp is the most entertaining.
Did you watch him on that show with the white dude, Caleb Presley, where he interviewed him talking about if he likes the smell of cocaine? And he was like, does cocaine have a smell? Bro, it's the funniest fucking shit in the world.
Did you see Shannon Sharp on for 7 years with Skip Bayless and the stuff?
I did. I don't know, man. I got Irvin a little higher.
Oh, come on.
The reason I got to give it to Shannon Sharp is because he's able to like adapt so well. So he'll randomly on like Nightcap with Ocho Cinco, he'll have like Kai Cenat randomly show up, and he just acts like way different there compared to when he's on TV and he has to be a bit more formal. He can pull that off pretty much anywhere. So
Club Shay Shay. I mean, look at his interviews with
his interviews are very good. Yeah,
with Cat Williams and with other guys that he's at Tyrese.
He did one with John Cena pretty recently.
The John Cena one was great. You learned that John Cena is a conceited douchebag, but I mean, outside, I mean, he's like. But I mean, at the same time, it's great, man. I don't know. I mean, I get it with Michael Irvin, man, but Shannon Sharp was getting it in on Instagram. Bro, come on. Michael Irvin ain't never done that before.
But he would. And he would do it on cocaine.
All you have to do is ask.
Yeah. And he would do it on cocaine.
He was getting it in on Instagram.
You know how Shannon Sharp is like part YouTuber now is because his immediate reaction was to have like hacked. 3 or 4 live streams about that one event just completely
make a ton of
that it worked out perfectly for him there, which does make you wonder if it was more purposeful than he let on, but still.
No, I don't. Shannon Sharp don't know how to use me. It was an accident. You can tell. Look, for those who don't know, it's athletes. They always do this. When I was back in the day, when some of my friends went to the league, the Instagram stuff and stuff like that, it's a very common thing for athletes to just get Instagram girls, right? And he was on Instagram with the girl telling her, hey, come over, I'm going to get the Uber for you. And she came over and he was texting her, and basically they went right to it. And he put the phone down, and that's exactly what happened. The girl's from Instagram, and that's what happened. So scour the plains for a girl named Michelle on Instagram that follows Shannon Sharp if you want to know what she looks like.
This is from AJ, who says, for the new show format to be worth it, I hope everyone is back. Nate, MVG Jordan, MC, and yes, even Dreamcast guy. I hope it works.
You gotta say it like the dream.
Before we know, this says PS5 Pro supposedly enhances PS4 Pro, but why didn't they mention this or show it in the announcement? They technically showed a PS4 game at first, but you're right. They didn't really talk about that much. So that's going to be another situation where we need independent eyes on it. So I feel like Digital Foundry is going to make like hours of content out of this thing because of all this stuff. So Pour Me Another says Hogwarts was def running at 30 FPS on PS5 Pro. Nerd Crave says, as long as we can rely on the content, I'm not concerned about delivery method or timing. Golden Line says those PC builds have no Windows keyboard and mouse gamepad. Yeah, that is some people do forget about is that DualSense controller is packed in. So you do have to account for that in some way. I think the idea of saying, oh, you need a monitor or TV, that's a wash, but you do technically need a controller since that is considered with the price of the PS5 Pro. DB says the reactions of the Pro make no sense to me. It's an optional upgrade, but people love drama. Perceptions will change the moment we see the Digital Foundry review.
Yeah, it's because people put too much stock into them.
RDX says PS5 Pro is $959.99 in Canada. I wait for new Xbox. 2026. We'll see what they do. Will B says
Raspberry Pi with Game Pass Live on it.
Would you be fine with PS6 if it's $1,000 but maxed out? I think there will be I think a lot of people will have a problem with that.
No, that was just drama, man. People just drama.
Lucio says PCs with Windows 10 or 11 still sucks on TVs to have a console experience. Many games with a lot of stutter and issues with HDR settings. So PS5 Pro is cheaper and better until we get a decent Steam machine. I think there is a lane there for Valve if they want to take it. I do. Jenna says, I'm ready for pre-ordering the PS5 Pro. Just received my disc drive from Walmart yesterday. Callan Shaw says, does Concord Disc let you play anything, even a tutorial offline without calling a server? Fun show, all thanks. I wish I could tell you this thing's sealed. I have no intention of opening it right now because it's not going to do me anything. But if anyone out there in the chat has a copy of Concord, like a physical one, because they started taking digital copies back, let us know if you can do anything with it. If there's like a mode or something you fire up when you get in there. Yum Yum says, are we expecting Switch 2 costs around $500?
The Nintendo Switch 2.
No, the expectation is $399 for right now.
The expectation is $399. I gotta tell you, after seeing the PS5 Pro, I nothing's off the table for me. I'm like, I don't know, maybe multiple SKU. Who knows? Who knows at this point? I default to $400, but I will not be shocked if it's $500. Super Christian says Concord was never a game. It was a career institute. Quest for Glory says, don't forget to check Streamlabs. Thanks, everyone. Oh, yes, I will double check those. Thank you, Quest for Glory. Claw says, clearly OJ needs to watch the technology connections video on dishwashers, which actually save water versus washing my hand.
Based on
technology connections video, backing up my dishwasher.
Not. The way that I wash my dishes, it does not waste the water.
He doesn't use the toilet.
His own saliva.
The way that I do my dishes, I'm not wasting. You doing dishes different. I'm not watching no dumbass technology video for washing dishes.
Technology connections
for 40 years. I've been doing dishes my whole damn life. I ain't watching no damn video on it.
Echoes of J2. Is Crash Bandicoot here? I think I heard a whoa.
Whoa.
Yeah, I mean, there it is. There it is. Scott says, am I the only one that assumes RGT doesn't go on camera because he's in the bath?
No, I'm on the I wasn't even going to come on tonight, and I saw everyone hates John and quit, so I was like, well, let me come on, try and help him out. Crystal says, fun fact about Concord, a mobile game, Idolmaster Civ 2, that announced its end-of-life date before the official release, lasted longer than Concord. I think a lot of things lasted longer than Concord. Like, people were saying Houseflies last longer than Concord. So
Babylon's Fall lasts longer than Concord, did it?
Oh, yeah. Let's see. Symphony of the Night ist, I'll say that. It says, doesn't get to support. Oh, don't get to support often. Rip live. Always fun. And then that says, shoot, great show today, gang. We got to go through the pricing and the suffering of the PlayStation people. They are feeling the woes of $700 for a pro system that's about to con wallets. Well, oh, here it is. Nicholas says, with taxes, $1,100 for the PS5 Pro in Canada. And then Mr. Jackson says, maybe Sony could stop focusing on graphical upgrades and start worrying about fun games. It would probably help them in the long run. And State of Play is coming. So it's just around the corner. Here's hoping they have something to announce there. I will check Streamlabs.
Marathon, Fair Games.
Well, they have some studios that could announce some stuff. I really want to know what Blue Point's working on. That's one I'm very curious about. So we will see. I will check Streamlabs though. Right now I'm pulling that up as we go around here. Let me go over to Sean. Where can everyone find you, sir?
Find me on RGT85. Go click this link that I'm putting in there. Follow the page. Spoiler alert, the book comes out tomorrow on Amazon and Kindle, and pre-orders for signed copies, because Amazon's stupid and the book has to go live before I can order my author copies. Signed copy pre-orders will go up on Castlemania along with the t-shirt bundle, $19.99 for the physical book, $19.99 for the autograph book, $39.99 for the t-shirt bundle, Kindle version, $14.99. No, I don't know what time it goes up, probably in the later afternoon. I will make announcements on appropriate social media channels.
Phil Spencer says Alundra rep, Team Asobi Dungeon Zelda-like RPG next. Interesting idea. Jim Ryan says, how much do you think the Switch 2 will cost? We'll be crazy if it's more than the standard PS5 Xbox Series X at $400 to $500. Or $450. We mentioned we're expecting $400, but you never know.
Who knows?
Then Adam says, usually I'm good at catching a live, but I was out today celebrating my 34th birthday. Hey, shout out. Happy birthday there, Adam. What are some guest bots the cast would like to see come to Astro Bot via DLC? My three are, hold on. I want to read these, Adam. I get concerned because the bots are kind of a fun thing for people to find. And if I start listing ones that would be in DLC and aren't in there, people will immediately be like, okay, they're not in there. I see the three you mentioned here though, Adam, and I do like so the second one I think would be really cool, and obviously the last one. But can I even say one that I would like to see? There's one in particular I would like to see in here, but I'm going to say it and it's going to be like, oh, that spoiled it. I will tell you this. It was news stories everywhere, headlines, some Square Enix stuff. There you go.
There you go. Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, because everyone seems to know that.
Yeah. I mean, it was all over the place. They're not listing any specific ones, but just more Square Enix stuff. We'll say that. How about that one? What about OJ? Where can everyone find you, sir?
Yeah, find me right here on YouTube, Player Essence. Got some cool stuff coming up. Just did a video on Metaphor Refantazio, the 88 plus potential rated game coming up pretty soon. Your potential game of the year. So I got a video on that on the channel that I did today. Got some cool live streams that I'll be doing. Got a marathon stream that we're going to be setting up and doing pretty soon here. We're going to have prizes and stuff. Giving away a copy of Metaphor Refantazio as well, PS5 Collector's Edition. So that's going to be coming up pretty soon here too. So yeah, go to the channel, Player Essence, subscribe. Videos pretty much every day, RPG, Nintendo content predominantly, and our live streams pretty much every single day as well. And I'm 100% streaming tomorrow. I always say I'm going to stream on something, then I don't because I'm tired as hell, but I'm streaming tomorrow. So you guys come through to the stream, have some fun. We're going to be talking about video games, making jokes, whatever. It's going to be a lot of fun. So thank you for having me, John. I appreciate it.
Good stuff. And then what about Evan?
You can find me on YouTube at Kimmerix Project. Tabletop stuff. I'm trying to get some videos together. There was a ton of rules leaks for something upcoming that I'm trying to get this huge video together for, but that probably won't be out for a while. Just got back from a tournament today that I took some video at.
Nice.
For kind of like the last game in the series before the rules update. So I might get a video together on that. Hopefully I can just get more stuff out, honestly.
Did you get a trophy for showing up again?
No, played someone, got the trophy anyway. Because
real? Okay. You didn't even show that immediately. Like, look, I got a trophy. Oh wow,
that's 2 in 2 weeks. Let's go.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's pretty good. You got footage of it though, so you got footage of your win and everything.
Yeah.
Okay, good stuff. Well, is that you're posting that up on your channel? Then you're gonna put it together.
Eventually, yeah, as a farewell to the current rules look back type thing.
Okay, we're gonna look out for that. Look for that. Yeah, definitely check everyone out. Got a link down below, of course. We will be back next week. We still have next week, and then the following Saturday we'll be live streaming then, and then it won't be until October 4th where we post up like just the full podcast, pre-recorded setup and everything from there. So still another 2 weeks, guys. We'll be back next Saturday night, 9 p.m. Eastern time, and we'll see you guys then.